This is for the sled dogs in the trenches. Real hockey parents, real stories. The good and the gong show. No filters, no sugarcoating, no politics. Just straight hockey talk and the best guests around the barn. Welcome to the Crazy Hockey Dads podcast. All right, boys, grind them corners, chirp responsibly, and bring that savage fire.
Everybody, welcome back to episode 61 of the Crazy Hockey Dads podcast, the unfiltered podcast for hockey parents. No politics, no sugarcoating, just real hockey talk, just real talk for hockey parents in the trenches. Yikes.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yikes.
It's all right.
Yikes.
I think I did it last week, so I think you're 2 weeks, you're still rusty.
Yeah, but this has almost become inexcusable. If I'm being honest.
Well, let me ask you a question. Were you reading it?
That's part of my problem. I look at it and then I take my eyes off of it. And then sometimes you just
I hear you.
Doesn't work out.
I think I have it memorized by now. I think I do. I think.
I should commit. You want to try it?
Want me to try it?
Yeah, go.
So what is it? Welcome to the Crazy Hockey Dads podcast.
What you're asking me for?
Unfiltered podcast for hockey parents. No politics, no sugarcoating. Just real talk for hockey parents in the trenches.
Yeah, dude, you nailed it.
Yeah. I was actually saying it in my head when you were saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, shit, he screwed up.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck it.
Listen, this is raw and unfiltered, buddy.
Yeah, I'll give you something raw and unfiltered.
No, Jesus. No editing here. Zero. How now, brown cow?
The arsonist.
That's oddly
shaped feet. Yeah, man. So anyway, welcome back.
Yes.
Welcome back. I feel
well,
like
I should say welcome back to you. You were the one that was away in sunny
went
Florida.
to Florida.
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice to get away for a
bet.
minute. Yeah, more than a minute, a couple days.
Nice weather.
The weather was nice. It was good to feel some warm sun.
I bet.
It was quite windy, but no complaints. Got in the ocean, got in the pool.
Nice.
Yeah, wore some shorts and
That's
all that
nice.
stuff. Put on some suntan lotion.
Although I
or
think that's-
sunscreen
I think
is
that's-
what we call it nowadays.
We are calling it that. I think that's coming here, by the way.
What warm weather? You know, I
think next week it's going to be in the 70s.
You don't say.
I do.
You do.
I am saying.
Good.
I think that's what it is next week. I think.
Warm weather.
I think it's like 70s-ish.
Yeah, and then before you know it, we're all going to be complaining it's too hot out there.
Listen, that does happen.
It totally happens.
It definitely does.
You know, I do wish the spring and the fall were just like a little more consistent and a little longer.
The seasons are nice.
Because when you get a sick spring day
or a sick fall day,
yeah, it's gorgeous.
You're not
it's
wrong.
gorgeous.
With that.
It's like
no
wow.
humidity, like that type of stuff.
You're like, wow, this is paradise.
Yeah. No,
You get like a handful of those a year.
not a lot.
Nah.
Definitely not a lot.
I remember I went to Los Angeles years ago now, and we went out to, I don't know, Santa Barbara or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember walking down the street and the weather was just like, it couldn't have felt more perfect. And I just stopped walking, and I literally had a moment of just like,
Just looking around.
I can't believe it feels this good here.
So what was
fucking unreal.
Tell me, what was it, like 70?
I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was like, you know, just like for me at that time, just like perfect temperature.
Interesting.
It was unreal.
So what is the perfect temperature? I feel like
I don't know.
70, no humidity is like perfect.
So I think that
That's like where my
so
head goes.
so coming out of the winter, yes. Going into the fall, no.
For me, going into the fall, I want it a little more brisk. Like I want it a little colder. Like I like wearing like a sweater or like a long sleeve when it's like a little not
Like the
cold. The first couple, with again, no humidity, where
Yeah.
it's just like brisk. I don't know how to
Crisp
describe
and
it.
cool
Other than like
and-
brisk, right?
yeah.
Like apple picking weather.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, sure.
that's like my like go to.
Great. Can't
Anywho, how do we? Oh, we were talking about so you had a nice time in Florida.
Yeah, it was good.
No hockey in Florida.
No hockey in Florida, zero. You know, we put on some on the TV, but didn't
Nice.
even watch that much. Yeah, no, it was all good.
Nice.
Yeah. How about you? You were Eastering?
What did we do?
Because it was Easter weekend.
we
Happy Easter
were
to
Eastering.
all y'all
Yes,
that
happy
celebrate Easter.
Yeah, correct. Happy Easter to everybody. Yeah, we were Eastering.
Yeah.
What did we do?
Dress up like a bunny?
I did not dress
Did you
up like
lay
a-
any Cadbury eggs?
I did not lay any Cadbury
Did
eggs.
you eat any?
I did.
Oh, nice.
I did. Hard not to eat Cadbury eggs. Only one, though.
Only one.
Yeah.
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 You don't find that they get to be too much?
I could eat so many Cadbury eggs.
Really?
buddy. Oh, my God. I could.
I find that surprising, actually.
Really?
Yeah, well,
They're
no.
so good.
No. Well,
The
you
inside
don't
of a
see-
Cadbury egg
Yeah.
is to die for. Hard to go wrong with that.
It's creamy.
It's just, it's just
is,
goodness,
no?
buddy. You're not wrong.
I know. That's why I said it.
It is. It is. It's the inside of a Cadbury egg is like heavenly. It's pretty legit. Yeah, yeah. My kids love. Hard to go wrong with Peeps, right? Any shape,
As long as you like marshmallows.
exactly right, and lots of sugar, right?
Yes.
So Peeps, hard to go wrong with. The marshmallow kind of filled like eggs. It's just like
Marshmallow filled eggs?
yeah, it's not an egg. It's a chocolate covered egg
Yeah, I get you.
with marshmallow in it.
I don't know that I'm familiar with that.
So good.
Really?
That and the Cadbury eggs, and then jelly beans are legit on Easter. Hard to go wrong with jelly beans.
Fair.
You know, Nancy buys these like funky jelly beans, dude. They're like
Not the Jelly Belly.
no, those are legit. Or
Yeah.
Brock's also legit. Brock's jelly beans.
Brock's. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Brock's
yeah.
jelly beans are pretty legit. Always in my house. But then she started buying these like I think they're made by Brock's also, but they're like zippy type flavors. One's
do you mean?
like I'm gonna say this all wrong, but I'm gonna totally butcher this. One's like cinnamon, and one's like they're like funky flavors.
Cinnamon's not funky.
No, it isn't a jelly bean though. It isn't like a Brock's jelly bean.
Yeah. Like they have like super sour ones, or like they're just strong
No,
flavors, like
no.
a very minty one. Are we
No,
talking?
they're like zippy. They have like zippy, like different flavors than like your regular, your
Okay,
traditional jelly
like
bean.
what's zippy? You say zippy. I
I want to
think
say
of barbecue
I
sauce.
want to say like sage or like
sage,
or like a peppermint jelly bean or like a
Okay.
God, what are they called? Shit, they're not your typical flavors for a jelly
unique
bean.
New York. Unique New York.
They are unique, that's for sure. And then there's these other jelly beans, which literally are like they're smaller. I forgot the manufacturer. Haven't seen them in a couple years, but they are like all different colors, and they're like red with like green dots in them or something like that. And when you eat it, it's not what you think it is. So you see like green with red dots, you assume watermelon,
Potentially.
right? Right, for the most part. And then it's something like coffee.
Oh, that's misleading.
They're different. I cannot for the life of me. I cannot remember the name of them. But yeah, hard to go wrong with jelly beans, Peeps, Cadbury eggs. Yeah, hard to go wrong.
Sounds like you got all the major Easter food groups in.
We did. It was nice. We went out to dinner at a local Italian place that we've been to before. Lovely. Should have known there was going to be an issue when the guy seating us apologized for the table next to us on the way up to the table.
What was he apologizing for?
He was apologizing because it was a very large group that was behind us.
And they were a large group and loud.
Large. We were like 12, right? Sitting next to them. They're sitting behind
Like
us.
12 people.
12 people, yeah.
And you weren't the large group.
No, this was like 30 something.
Ooh, that's
yeah.
large.
And they had a kids table off to the right too.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were a very big group. So he was apologizing for them ahead of us actually even seeing the table.
Huh. Well,
Yeah.
was it that bad?
It was pretty bad.
No, that sucks.
So I was sitting, my brother was to my right, his wife, Nancy was to my left. Nancy was to my left. And then Dominic was next to her. And then like my stepdad, my mom, my father-in-law, and mother-in-law. And I literally could not hear
That blows.
my mother, my father-in-law, my mother-in-law. I couldn't hear, if you were like 2 spots away from me,
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you.
That sucks.
And I have pretty good hearing. So my mother's talking to me from the other side of the table, and I'm trying to read her lips. Seriously.
How'd that go?
Not good.
No.
Like I'm hearing a little bit and I'm seeing her lips move, so I'm trying to piece together
Yeah.
what she's telling me.
Yeah.
That was the only issue.
Well, that's a considerable issue.
It was
the food good?
Food was good.
Okay.
No complaints.
So that's a win.
Yeah, the food was good. No complaints at all. But you you literally had to like musical chairs and go sit next to the person to talk to them.
Oh, it's yeah. You know,
if you wanted to talk to them.
I'll say like, you know, as I've gotten older and have kids and whatever, I feel like my parents. Like you're out to dinner and you're like, God, is it loud in here? You know what I mean? Like I didn't care about that when I was younger, but now it's like, fuck, get me out of here. I can't hear shit.
Well, let me ask you a question. I mean, I'm curious if you do this, speaking of that type of stuff. All right. So I remember like years ago, like I'd be like doing my homework and the lights were not on in my room. I was just doing it from like the daylight coming in from the outside.
Yeah.
And my dad would walk in and he'd be like, turn a light on. And I'm like, why? Why? Now I turn lights on.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It's awful.
That happened to me.
I'm like, don't you need a light on?
The other day when we were away, both my kids were sitting in. Look, the sun was going down, so at one point it was lighter, and then the sun went and it was like the two of them are sitting on their devices, looking at screens, and it's like the room is getting dark, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna leave them.
You did?
Yeah, I didn't say anything.
You left it alone?
Yeah, I didn't feel like saying anything.
Probably a smart move. Sometimes you got to pick your battles.
But the point is, I noticed it. Not that they would even care.
I'm sure they would.
But like, I totally know what you're saying.
Yeah. So, but like Topher Scott has said to us in the past, sometimes you need to parent, but do you really need to parent?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Look. Yeah. No. Totally agree with that.
Right. I've been trying to not parent as much.
No, huh?
When it's unnecessary.
Sometimes it's hard to tell.
Yes.
But you know what I'm really good at?
Very true.
I'm really good at seeing that in other people.
Isn't it funny how that is, by the way?
It's so true.
Especially when it comes to your kid on the ice.
Oh, well, that's a whole other story.
So we just had tryouts.
Yeah, but hold on. Before we get there, let's pause and shout out.
We should take care of business.
Howie's Hockey, Crazy 10.
Howie's Hockey, Crazy 10. Go get Scott's favorite, the candle. My favorite, the yellow-handled scissors, which Stacy just picked up a pair, by the way.
First time, huh?
I'm not sure first time, but she definitely has I know because she showed them to me. So she has a pair. She sent me a picture of them. Apparently they got a bunch of stuff from Howie's.
Good. Did they use a Crazy 10 discount?
They used Crazy 10.
Let's go.
Go get your stuff from Howie's. Even though it's the off season, spring hockey's here. Camps are here, right? You guys are still, obviously those of you who are still traveling and playing, go get your tape, laces, gear. Go get Stacy's son's favorite, the light blue T-shirt. He loves the material, by the way.
Yeah, I've got the light blue T-shirt.
I do too, but you don't have this one. You have you have this logo, don't you?
Yes.
So do I. He's got a different one.
What, the tape? The tape Howie's?
No, it says Howie's across. It's cool.
Yeah.
He's got a good one. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. If Stacy picked it, she picked a good one. She should buy one for Larry too.
Yeah, Larry definitely needs one.
So they picked up a pair of yellow-handled scissors.
Yeah.
You get Scott's candle, go get some gear. Whatever you need from Howie's, use Crazy 10 for 10% off your Howie's hockey gear.
That's it. And if you haven't yet, next stop, hockeytraining.com.
Coach Kevin.
So if we're in the off season and you're looking for what?
No, I don't have my laptop. Well, good. Continue.
So anyway, off season's here, and if you're looking to get some reps in at home for yourself, if you play beer league, for your kid, if they're looking to do some training off ice, check out hockeytraining.com for quicker hands, faster feet, stronger stride. You can get all of these workouts and stick handling drills online. He's even got an online class, Zoom class, stick handling class that you should definitely check out. Virtual stick handling is probably the better way to say it. And it's all stuff that's going to translate onto the ice, especially, the speed, strength, agility stuff. He's got some great training tools and programming just to get you quicker in the off season. So definitely check out Coach Kevin at hockeytraining.com.
Love it. And our favorite Titan
Hockey Training HQ.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Hockey on Instagram.
HQ is his Instagram.
Yeah, check it out.
A lot of really, really good videos there.
Yeah, let's go.
Huge library of stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I don't know how many videos he has. We've got a truckload.
And the app, too. Download the app.
The app, yeah. He's really dialed in. We like Coach Kevin.
Super
a
dialed.
lot. Yeah. And then we have Titan Battle Gear. So Scott and I trust our children in Titan Battle Gear. Not only is it safe, the safest on the market in our opinion, for your wrists, for your neck. The feel is nice. The coverage up on your neck is awesome. Plus they have awesome styles.
Sty.
They have like the ice cream. They have the palm trees, which is like the Miami Vice look.
Yep.
They
camo.
They have a bunch of camos. They have a black
Yep.
and a green.
That speckled paint one.
They do have the speckled paint one. They also have the USA Hockey logo. USA Hockey, right? That's pretty sick. So we trust Titan Battle Gear for all of your base layer needs. So use the code CrazyDads10 for 10% off your Titan Battle Gear. Just spoke to Andres, the CEO, today, right? You saw the emails. So Scott and I may have some custom base layers made for our teams coming this next fall.
Yeah.
Working on something cool. Let's see if it works.
Trying to see if we can make those available.
Yes.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Should be good.
And then next up, Athletic Performance Insight. Any of you coaches, managers that are looking to onboard video analytics to your team for next season, check out Athletic Performance Insight. Use the contact form, reach out to Eric. He'll be happy to demo the software platform for you. Even tag a game for free so you can see what you get after having a game broken down. It's really easy to use. It's got all the different analytics that you need, from team stats to individual stats. You can, filter your video replays based on like successful zone breakouts and zone entries and penalties and shots on goal and all the things.
Pretty
Goalies too.
robust.
Yeah, I know. It's got all the things. So anyway, check out Athletic Performance Insight for your video analytic needs, and reach out to Eric.
Yeah, he's a good dude. We should have him on again, by the way. It's been a while.
Totally should have Eric on again.
Been a minute. Was he our first interview ever?
No, Vollmer was.
Vollmer was. We got to get him back on too, by the way.
Yeah, I'd love to hear how that wrapped up.
Yeah. No, he we should. I asked him. He'll come back on.
Okay.
We just got to find a spot for him.
Dude.
Yeah. No, we'll definitely get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that takes care of our little business stuff.
Yep. And we also noticed we have a lot of different countries that have listened in, and just want to thank all the new listeners that are checking us out. Really appreciate it. So shout out to all of you that are checking us out for the first time or the fifth time, or maybe even more than that. But thank you so much for all the listeners.
Yeah. Some crazy countries that I didn't even know played ice hockey.
Yeah. What was the most surprising one?
Oh,
Ivory Coast.
Ivory Coast was one. Honestly, I mean, there's a bunch of them.
Bahamas.
That's a good one, actually. That is Aruba is another one, but we had Aruba.
I still yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of them here, buddy. Like Lebanon,
Interesting.
right? Israel, I could see. I get that, right? I get ice hockey there.
You know who had a long
Senegal,
also?
ice hockey in Senegal.
I don't know.
Okay.
I've seen some pretty interesting videos of just like hockey in different countries. I think it might have been like in India or Pakistan. But listen, people are trying the sport. There's no doubt.
St. Kitts.
Yeah, that's like an island nation, no?
Yeah. I can't imagine there's many rinks there, but somebody's listening. So our map keeps filling up, which is awesome.
Yeah, so thank you one, thank you all.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, there's some strange ones
I know.
I'm just looking at the map. And there's some anyway. But yeah, so all right, so you guys are not hockeying at all at the moment, right?
He's going to get back out on the ice this week.
Oh, you are hockeying now.
We missed last week. We missed 2 sessions, unfortunately, because we were away. But no, he's back out on the ice this week. Otto's been doing his mountain biking team. He's got his first race this weekend.
Right.
So that should be interesting. Never been to one, but dude, so we complain about hockey.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm actually, the more my kids have done like some other sports, the less complaining I'm going to do about hockey. Not that I even complain, but this one race is like 3 hours away for one fucking race. Okay, that's a lot.
How long is the race?
That also I don't know, but he's riding through the woods, so it's not like I'm fucking
so you're not
standing in
see
the
him.
woods.
Yeah. It's like a marathon. You just pick a spot, and when he goes by,
dude. And then it's like my daughter's gymnastics competition. Like a couple weeks ago, I was out of the house for like 7 hours.
I remember that.
And
that's like a wrestling. That's like a wrestling tournament, dude.
Dude, my daughter
those are long.
They're long, but like your kid only competes for like, and sometimes like
I get it.
like less than 5 minutes. Like when my daughter was doing swim meets, she didn't race that many races, and at her age, they were short distances.
Long.
It's like in a minute and 30 seconds, I've watched her swim, and like I'm out of the house for like 7 hours.
I get
like,
it.
No thanks.
I get it. When I used to compete for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, we went up to like Bryant College and places for like tournaments.
Yeah.
And your match is like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And
You're there
sitting
all day.
a lot. You're sitting a lot.
Yeah.
Waiting for
at
like
least
your
with
weight
hockey,
class being called, waiting for like your, whether it's gi or no gi. I mean, it's long, dude. It's really long.
Yeah. And I don't want to watch other kids.
It's like a wrestling tournament. I'm assuming gymnastics is the same way. It's long.
Yeah. It's not.
I think swimming is the same thing, by the way.
So, I was there.
Right?
I've been there, done that.
Yeah, no swimming. Right. Same idea.
Yeah.
Those are long.
Long.
Yeah, hockey tournaments aren't that bad.
Forget even the tournament. Just I would rather drive an hour and a half to a game and then
Agreed.
see in exciting sometimes, not always, but
Hopefully.
But at least your kids getting out on the ice like
Frequently.
more frequently,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's
It's not like a 2-minute thing.
no, and it's a proper game. It's not like these these meets. It's like all these individual like.
You got to let me know where you decide to stand for Otto's race. I'm curious where you're going. You going to be at the finish line?
I might just go to my car and lay down.
Oh my God. Speaking of, you want to hear a funny story?
Or like tune into something and just say, "Hey, this is where I parked."
So when I
Drop a
dropped
pin and send it to him.
so you started giggling earlier when I mentioned my brother at the dinner table.
Zach.
Okay.
Yo,
so,
shout out Zach Treby.
So Zach and his lovely wife, when we were sitting at dinner on Easter, he was telling me he's like we're going down to Orlando for spring break. I'm like, that's awesome. He's like, go
Why
ahead.
is he going for spring break?
What? Why or
Yeah, like why spring break? Is he gonna go?
I don't know.
Shotgun some beers on the beach.
I don't think it's that kind of a spring break. They're going to Orlando. They're not going like Panama
Oh, right,
City.
right. You said Orlando.
Yeah, they're not going like Panama City.
Okay,
Or
fair.
like Jamaica.
Right.
I can't see Mickey Mouse handing out like beers for you to like,
imagine?
or like funnels.
Yeah.
Right. So
It's like adult Disney.
right, exactly. So they're going down to Orlando. So they're going to drive. I was like, okay, cool. So he starts telling me about like the drive that he's going to make. It's just him and his wife.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm telling you. He's like, so we're going to drive. He's like, and we'll stop somewhere in like, I don't know. He's like, we'll drive for like, 8 hours, something like that. And we'll stop in like, like North Carolina or like the end of Virginia, something like that. Right.
Yeah.
7 hours, 8 hours ish, whatever it is, however long they make. He's like, and then we're going to stay in a hotel. He's like, and then we'll continue the next day. He's like, and we'll continue all the way down. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, sounds fun. He's like, so I bought a futon.
What?
A futon mattress for the back seat. I'm like, what? I'm like, Zach. He's like, yeah, futon mattress. I go, why? He goes, so we get sleep when we're tired. And I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, you're going to drive like 7-8 hours and stay at a hotel. Like, then you're going to get up next morning and drive another 7-8 hours. And you're going to be, for the most part, at your destination.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like,
What do you need the futon for?
why do you need the futon? He's like, so when I get tired, I can go sleep in the back. I'm like, you're going to let your wife drive like by herself?
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to stay up and like talk to her? Or like, you're just going to go in the back and like hit the sack for a couple hours?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. And his wife was like, I don't even know, Jamie. She's like, whatever. I'm not. She's like, he's playing the whole thing. She's like, I'm not getting involved. I was like, all right, have at it. So Zach is putting a futon mattress in the backseat of his car so he can catch some Z's when his wife is driving and he's sleeping on the way down to Florida.
That's unreal.
Yeah, you could describe it like that.
I'm having technical difficulties with my
Are you?
yeah,
What's not working?
my face.
Your camera?
My face isn't working.
Sweet. As long as the audio is good.
I think so.
So yeah, so that's good. That's going. So that's happening.
What the hell's wrong with my
I don't know.
camera?
Well, while you fix it, I'll talk about how tryouts. How's
Yeah,
that
you
sound?
can start, but this is annoying.
Well, you fix it. So you're the technical one, so you can fix
Wow.
it. So anyway, so we had tryouts Monday night.
Yeah.
Okay. And I tried to be really sneaky. I tried. So you remember the days where you would go and you could pay for tryouts as like a walk up?
I can't say I do because I don't think I ever did that. But
Neither did I.
Go for it.
I didn't either. But do you remember the nights where sometimes like you weren't sure which team you were going to make, so you try out for one the first night, and then you go somewhere else the second night, right?
Sure, that's the thing.
And you go to a
I've never
different
done
building.
that,
I've never done it either, but that's a thing, right? And the walk up fee used to be like $50, $60, $70, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Right? So I didn't sign up for tryouts.
Yeah.
Okay. I walked up the day of,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, can I just do a walk up fee for tryouts?
Yeah.
Thinking I was going to be like $75, like something like that. She's like, yeah, that'll be $200. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I can't just do one night. She's like, no, that's for all 3 nights. I'm like, I know. I'm like, I just wanted tonight. She's like, yeah, that'd be $200. I'm like, okay. Really?
Listen, but the truth is, if
Really?
people knew that they could just do that, then people would just do that. And
So-
then if their kid didn't make it, then they'd get off the hook for whatever they don't. But I'm not disagreeing that people shouldn't be able to do that. I'm just saying that
I tried, folks.
good for you.
I tried to give a little loophole. Didn't work.
No.
It did not work.
Yeah, and like Dom just had one night of tryouts, and
One
I'm
night of
okay.
tryouts.
But the thing,
Yeah.
the annoying part is that they're making you pay for ice you're never gonna get.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's the part that's like harder to digest.
It's
Now look,
bullshit is what it is.
like it, and but
It's
also
not hard to digest. It's fucking bullshit.
well, the other part that's real bullshit is that
You
the
know?
teams are already picked. Like it's not like you're
Yes.
actually like okay. That's not
So
the
maybe
case
you're
in all
looking for
instances.
one or two spots.
right?
ish,
but like
right?
you're-
Give or
exactly,
take.
exactly. So like if that second night is really there's some spots up for grabs and fine, but
But the first kids don't go back.
the first kids don't go back.
Yeah, so you're paying $200 for an hour.
Yeah, if you make the team, I feel like the rest of that, like keep it for the night that your kid skates.
Keep
and then
going with that.
Put whatever the balance is towards tuition.
Fuck yes.
100%.
And no question about
Right.
it. Put that shit toward tuition. But they don't.
Yeah. Listen, I know they don't, but
So again, let's say that your kid goes Monday, doesn't get a contract.
yeah.
Okay? And that was the AA team. And you're going back the second night knowing that AA team is picked, and they're looking at you now for single A. And your kid doesn't want to play single A, he wants to play AA. So what happens if you go to another building
Yep.
on night 2, you pay $200 for tryouts for one skate, you go to another building, they're going to whack you for tryouts, probably something similar-ish.
But do you think if you go on the second night somewhere else, they're going to charge you for all 3 nights?
I don't know.
Or are they just going to make you pay for 2 because you physically can't get to the other one?
Well,
It's like it already passed.
We got charged for 3 nights.
I know,
for
but that
an
was also
hour.
on the first night. So
Okay.
in theory, you could potentially end up getting called back for 2 more nights.
All right, so instead of $200, you're going to bang you like I don't know 140-ish, 135
For 2 nights?
For 2 nights.
Maybe.
How's that work? I haven't done it,
No, I don't know.
but it's just another way for them to shaft you.
Listen, yeah, I hear you.
Like you said, it should go towards your fucking tuition,
Yeah, it should.
or that extra tournament that you guys are doing. It should go
Or
towards
something.
something. The
Yeah.
extra 150, whatever the number's going to be, should go to like that tournament that you guys are doing that the organization's not paying for.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, it's a real shame how badly they screw you in this game.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Like you said before, when we were talking off air, just roll it all into the fucking tuition. Just roll
Right.
it all in,
Yeah.
and make the tuition XYZ instead of like nickel and diming along the way after you increase the tuition prices.
Right.
And from what I understand, our tuition went up because we're 1 year older, but I am under the impression that we're losing a skill session and the off ice stuff,
And your tuition went up.
and the tuition went up.
Why are you losing it?
I don't know. That's a good question. Fucking Black Bear, dude.
Yeah.
Listen,
Dude, I don't know.
a problem.
At least this year, the gear package was rolled into tuition. So like when we had left Avalanche, we went down to Woodbridge.
right. Sometimes the gear package is extra.
Right. So that happened. And I thought to myself, oh, we're going to Woodbridge. At least, it's going to be less expensive. And the tuition was, but the tuition also didn't include the gear package. And of course we don't have Woodbridge anything because we're coming from the Avs. And so it's like, that was another whatever.
$1,500.
Whatever it was. And I was like,
Something
oh,
like
this is
that.
actually more expensive. And I'm driving like 3x the distance just to friggin' get to practice.
It's annoying, isn't it? Super
Yeah.
annoying. I know all you parents are dealing with this shit as we speak or have dealt with it in the last week to 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's annoying. It's just annoying. Just roll it all into a one-time shot, right?
Yeah, but that's kind of separate from like the tryout fiasco.
Dude, what about like the bullshit ID skates? Like, no,
Yeah, but
I'm
the
sorry,
ID skates you don't pay
no,
for.
No, they're called tune-ups. The fucking tune-ups.
Oh, the tune-ups, that's a different story.
I mean, like, really, dude? The fucking tune-ups? I didn't do them this year. I didn't do them last year.
We didn't do them this year.
No.
No.
I'm not doing tune-ups.
No.
Like, come on. Like, stop it.
Yeah, I mean, look, when I coached and again, this was with much younger ages, so there's like, the kids are lesser known entities, no doubt, but like the tune-ups were helpful because you get kids from other programs that get in front of the coach, and it gives you an opportunity as a coach
Fair.
to engage with parents after tune-ups, and you're like, hey, listen, your kid looked really good out there. What are your plans for next year? Are you thinking about this program? Are you going somewhere else?
Fair.
Would love to have you come to tryouts.
Fair.
Let me know. So I think those, it's not so bad, but like but those for the younger ages, and the teams are a lot less figured out. Oh, I shouldn't say a lot less. Probably the point is that I think it's more beneficial for younger ages, but once you get older, I don't. There's conversations that are happening.
If you're moving, I understand what you're saying. If you're moving
But you're
buildings,
telling me,
I get that. Then you want to do some tune-up skates to get your kid out there in front of the coaches. 100% agree with that. No problem.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's exposure.
But if you're staying in the same building,
You're staying in the same building.
they know who you are. You don't need to do a tune-up.
Right?
They had all season to look at you.
Right? But they just keep. It's funny. I never really paid much attention to it until recently, until we started doing this podcast.
Yeah.
And now, like, I'm not that I wasn't in tune to it before, but now it's just irritating me, I guess.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't before, but now it's starting to irritate me.
As well, it should.
I
mean, some of it, especially the tryouts and like just getting one night of tryouts and you're paying $200. It's like, please.
I mean, like if I'm paying $200, like I want like a really high level skills coach to be one-on-one with my kid.
Yeah, there you go.
Not for my kid to skate around cones and do 2-on-1s and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's like, really?
Well, it's interesting. So part of that, like you're talking about just like doing drills and whatever.
Right.
When I was with the Avs and we had tryouts, there was one of the philosophies was like, don't even put them through any drills. Just like split them up in teams and have them play a game because that's what they're coming here to do. So just have them play a game.
I remember those days.
And just watch them play.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Don't even like bother with this, like get on the line, like on the
skate.
edges. Just like get them out there and have them play.
Yeah, listen, it shows you something. Listen, some kids don't skate around cones well, and some kids show out better when they play.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Totally.
Right? I mean, it's definitely true. No,
Yeah.
it's true. And I need to call myself out for being a total fucking hypocrite, by the way. Because I have said in the past that I'm not doing like spring summer stuff with Dominic. That is not the case this year. I am doing spring summer stuff with Dominic.
But like, define that.
Like, so I think I've said on this podcast a couple times like that put the hockey bag away and do not do anything.
Yeah.
So I have done that in the past, a bunch, right? But this spring's, and I'm not doing any spring teams, by the way. Zero.
Fuck up my candle, dude.
No, I was taking off the bottom. You want that on?
It's part of the candle.
Okay, sorry. Sorry.
Don't mess with my
I
candle.
don't want to mess with your candle.
bro.
Sorry, I won't take that off.
There you go.
So I'm not doing any spring teams. So I'm staying true to that. 0 spring teams.
Okay.
I've signed up for 0 spring teams. Okay. So I said no to like 3-on-3s. I said no to like spring teams, 5-on-5. Said no to all that shit. He's still skating, right? Not a whole heck of a lot, but he's skating. But I did sign up in the summer for I keep like peeling.
It's all
this
good.
thing.
It's all good.
So I did sign up in the summer for a bunch of college camps.
A bunch.
I did.
I didn't know you signed up for a bunch.
I did.
What else did you
Just
sign
this
up
past
for?
weekend on Easter weekend, I was doing it. So, because my kid is getting closer to like high school, college-ish age, right? Listen, he's redoing 8th grade, so we have time. But I want him to start seeing like more college campuses. So we're doing.
Can you show me? Can you blow me where the Pampers is?
great movie. by
Can
the
you
way.
Can you show me where the campus
Where the
is?
campus is? Jeremy Piven.
Yeah, totally.
And who was the other dude? Who said that?
George Clinton.
No,
We.
he was in that too. But
Yeah.
who's the actor? It's gonna bother me now. I can't think of his name.
Anyway, go.
Anyway. So yeah. So we're doing Penn State.
Okay.
We're doing Princeton, which we've talked about here. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, go sign up for Princeton's ice hockey camp, July 13th through the 16th, down at Hobie Baker. There's day camps and overnights. I think the overnights are almost sold out, depending on the dates. And then there's that's 13th through the 16th, and then I want to say this. Go on their website, like PrincetonSportsCamps.com, something like that. If you type in Princeton ice hockey summer camps, it'll all pop up. So Scott and Otto are doing the 20th through the 23rd. It's like a Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
They're going to sleep over, but there's 2 sessions. So go sign up. If you're in Jersey, we have a lot of Jersey listeners. Go sign up for the Princeton ice hockey camp. There's a couple different age groups too. All right. There's like a young kids and an older kids. If you haven't been to Hobie Baker, it's awesome. Dominic did it when he was really little before COVID. And then they shut the camp down for a lot of years. Then last year, the place was under renovation. So it's back.
Yep.
Princeton Ice Hockey Camp is back. It's run by Coach Sire, the head coach of the men's team, and his 3 assistant coaches, Coach Jones included, our buddy Coach Jones.
Sweet.
Yeah. So go sign up if you're in Jersey or right outside Jersey in Philly or Delaware and you want to come. Princeton Ice Hockey Camp. Go Google Princeton Ice Hockey Summer Camp and it'll pop up.
Nice.
Go check it out.
All right.
So we're doing that, and we're doing. I think we're going to do Sacred Heart.
Oh yeah.
I think so.
We had signed up Otto for that
I know you
not
did.
last year, the year before.
I know you did.
And then not only to find out a week before, oh, he's too young to actually sleep on campus, so he can't come.
Did he go as a day camper?
No, we're gonna drive to Connecticut just for day camp.
Oh. Got it. You're all right. So
He's still too young, but it was really annoying. It was like the first year they had put it out, we were just like, oh, let's go. It's closer, whatever.
Yeah.
And no, that was a fail.
Yeah. So I'm clearly a schmuck because the Penn State camp and the Sacred Heart camp are both no sleepovers, it's just day camps. So we're staying in hotels in the area.
Yeah, I know people that have done that before.
Yeah. Listen, it's like pseudo vacation type stuff.
Mm.
Well, there's not much vacationing out in Happy Valley by Penn State.
No, huh?
Not a whole lot to do out there other than whatever there's to do out there. Go to the Creamery. Creamery's great, by the way.
I've never been out there.
Oh my God. If you've ever been to Penn State, the Penn State Creamery.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They have a major dairy program out there.
Dude.
Major.
And the Penn State Creamery, which is their ice cream place, is phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Tremendous. Highly recommend if you're in the Penn State area, go there.
Yeah.
If you haven't been there already.
Yeah. All right. What do you want? You want to kick it over to? Oh, do you have more to say?
No, that's all.
So
that's all I got.
Our guest,
big stud.
Yeah.
Glenn Hefferan, and USHL Commissioner. What?
Unreal. Yep. So coincidentally, a local Jersey guy as well, which was nice, and have some Devils history there that we talked about on the pod.
Yes.
But it was really great to talk to him just to learn more about junior hockey. It's a level of hockey that I just I'm not that familiar with, but just hearing him talk about either. Tier 1 versus Tier 2, and the Tier 1 you don't have to pay for, and Tier 2 you do have to pay for, and just how many teams are in the league and compared to the CHL and the NHL's involvement, just all these different things about USA hockey, the state of the junior hockey in this country, how the Canadian rules or the rules with Canada have changed things, and just really and just how hard it is.
Yeah, the big time developmental.
Just how hard it is.
Yeah,
and he even said that just the jump, the hardest jump that he's heard repeatedly is not going from junior to college or college to pro, is going from youth to junior.
Yeah, it's men. You're talking about men.
Yeah, but you also have these much younger kids who are don't have all these life experiences and don't have to necessarily look after themselves, and they have to bill it and all these other things. And it's he said it's the hardest jump in hockey.
He also said there's I think, correct me if I'm wrong, there's 2 20-year-old roster spots per team.
In the USHL.
USHL. You're talking, it's a man.
Yes,
playing
that's true.
against like a 16-year-old.
Well, what's the average? The average age is like I don't know if he said it.
Did he say it was 18 or something like that?
Most of them are 17.
Was it younger?
I think most
yeah.
most are 17.
So you have 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
A league made up of mainly 17-year-olds ish, and then 2 20-year-olds per team. And he said they don't not fill those spots.
Right.
Right? Like you're going to fill those spots.
Yeah.
Because I think you age out after that, if I'm not mistaken.
You do.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but major developmental league, really cool. It sounds like they're expanding, trying to expand.
Yep.
Which is awesome. Yeah, I didn't know much about juniors, so this was pretty eye-opening.
Yeah, 100%.
Kind of why we had him on. Hopefully it gives some value to you guys who don't know much about juniors at kind of the next level after youth.
Yeah. So, and listen, Glenn's had a long history in the sport of hockey, and he's very well respected. You know, it's within USA Hockey, clearly the USHL. He's just got deep roots. So it was a pleasure talking to him, learning all that stuff. So hope everyone enjoys our next interview with Glenn Hefferan.
Here we go.
All right, we're here with our next interview, and we are lucky enough to have USHL Commissioner Glenn Hefferan. Glenn, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with us.
Oh, Jamie and Scott, my pleasure. I'm looking forward to it.
Such a treat. Really, I know you're super busy, so I'm sure, especially these days. So really appreciate you taking time to hang out with us a little bit. So kind of let our audience know what you're doing now, you know, and then we'll kind of get into your background a little bit.
Sure. So I'm this is my third season as commissioner of the United States Hockey League, the nation's only Tier 1 junior hockey league. It's been around quite a while. It actually started back as a senior league, and then they converted to juniors. And yeah, it was a senior league, and then converted to juniors. And this has been a journey for some time. They're USA Hockey. I was fortunate to be part of USA Hockey back in the 90s, and I was asked to participate in what they called the Super League Task Force, which basically was from city to city of all of our best junior cities in both the North American Hockey League and the USHL, with the concept of let's develop it into a super league to take the best and then get the best amalgamated into those 8-10 teams. And what ended up happening, like anything else, it takes a while to get that baked, and it then converted into creating the Tier 1 standards, which at the time the commissioner was Gino Gasparini, who was a friend and mentor to me. We both served on USA Hockey's Junior Council at the same time, and we did a lot of work together to get that passed. And now this is where we're at in terms of junior hockey, and it was all about setting high standards. And so it is. This was not something I had set my sights on. But fortunately, things came about and opportunity knocked, and I was really honored to be selected, and I've been enjoying it. It's been a challenge. There's the landscape is changing, but that challenge brings opportunity, and so I'm grateful to be in this position, and looking forward to continuing on in the role. And we've got some things I can't get into, some really good, exciting announcements coming up. And so, but hopefully within the next 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be able to put this pretty big announcement out with the NHL, and we're really excited about it. So, that, and I still have a role here in the Atlantic District, which will wind down in June. I do serve on USA Hockey's Congress. USA Hockey is now structured into a kind of a bicameral governance. You have the board, and then you have Congress. I'm a member of the Congress side, and I'm locally the affiliate president here for New Jersey, Eastern PA, and Delaware. And I have to say, I'm very fortunate to have a great team of people within the Atlantic affiliate that actually make the affiliate run. I'm just kind of here as I sometimes like to say, the night watchman, and because everybody, our staff and officers are just so good, and they know what it takes to make this affiliate run. And yeah, there's some things we need to work on here, but we'll be transitioning into a new leader come June. So kind of excited to see that happen. It's time. I've been affiliate president since 2015, so it's kind of time, and it's that's the way that role works. But my background as a hockey player is illustrious, said no one ever. I grew up, well, I said it. I grew up in Jersey City, and I learned to play at Roosevelt Stadium, which was a 33,000 seat baseball stadium, where Jackie Robinson actually broke the color barrier in
Oh,
the
wow.
minors. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And he played for the Montreal Royals, and so pretty
How about that?
famous game where he got a standing ovation when he hit a 2-run homer. Standing ovation by the Jersey City crowd. So,
Yeah.
but the
Nice.
rink was located behind center field wall, and we used to go there for public skating. And I was 12 and a half years old, and I collided with this kid, Kevin Russell, who's a dear friend to this day. He's an attorney in Jersey City, and
That's funny.
he got up real quick and I didn't. And
Oh, no.
he's just one of those figure skates. And I've told this story 100 times, but it's a meaningful thing for me because Kevin, we both grew up in Jersey City at the same time. We're the same age. And he says, well, you got to get hockey skates. Those are figure skates. And he explained the difference. And he was so, gracious about it. And I went home that afternoon and I begged my mom. My mom was a single parent, and, it was Christmas week. Like, she had just spent a lot of money. And I found out this department store had hockey skates, Sherbrooks, for $24.95.
Oh, my
No
goodness.
way.
You barely can get a roll of tape and a mouthpiece for that amount. So she agreed to go. We got the skates, and I went back to public skating that night. And I see this kid, Kevin, and he goes, look at you, you're skating better already. And I don't know if he was being honest or being kind. I think probably kind. And he goes, well, now you got to start playing hockey. I said, well, I don't know anything about it, and I don't have any gear. And he said, that's all right. Come to my house tonight, and I'll give you some of my old stuff. And we walked back to his house, and his dad's looking at me. He goes, what's your last name? I goes, Hefferan. And he goes, are you Gail's son? I go, yeah, it's my mom. He goes, oh, we know your mom. He takes out his black book. Back then, people had a black book.
Yeah, sure.
Phone numbers, right?
Yeah.
And he called my mom. He goes, Gail, it's Jack Russell. You got to come to my house and pick your kid up. He's getting all of Kevin's old gear. And, next thing you know, I started playing hockey, and I was terrible at it. But that program had a way. These were not learned hockey coaches. These were good dads who cared, and moms that cared about what you became as a person more than a hockey player. And they created an environment where it didn't matter how good or bad you were. You were part of the family, and every player was, made to feel like, hey, you're just as important as anybody else. And when you feel like you belong, even if you stink, and I stunk. I was terrible. And I knew I was terrible, but I didn't care. When you belong to a club and you feel like you belong,
Sure.
it feels good. And I stayed with it. The association had you start reffing when you were 15. So I got into reffing, and that actually helped my skating, and I got a little better. And then I started coaching at a young age, got a junior team at a young age, met my wife because of that junior team. She lived in Ridgewood. Her dad was a sponsor of the team, and I met her at the end of the junior season in 1988, and I had to come to her house to pick up a check to pay the team's bills for the rest of the year. And as I said, her dad was a sponsor, and he was very involved in hockey. And I started dating her, and 3 weeks later, I asked her to marry me, and she's stayed with me ever since. Yeah, 3 weeks.
No way.
It was the Devils making playoffs for the first time. John McClain's game-winning goal against Chicago that put them in the playoffs. And that gave me the reason to ask her dad if he had a connection to get tickets to the game. And he goes, well, you can use my seats. Mary wanted to know if you wanted to go. So that's kind of how it all started. And I kind of stayed with it. And even, running the Atlantic Hockey League was almost a happenstance thing. I was getting out. I was just going to ref, and my daughter was just born. And I was just going to sail off. And I was working on Wall Street and doing other stuff, and the next thing you know, they elected me president of the Atlantic Hockey League, and that had a junior division. Yeah, so and then I stayed involved ever since. Served on USA Hockey's board for a number of years, and just been involved ever since, pretty much.
Wow.
So your father-in-law must love the fact that your wife's family's hockey people. I mean, your father-in-law must have loved that.
Well, he was the president of the affiliate way back I didn't inherit the job from him, but he had retired and he left the area, and unfortunately he died several years ago. But I know he'd be really proud to see what I'm doing, and is knowing that his grandson and granddaughter played the game, and his son also played. My wife played; she was a goaltender. Yeah, my wife's actually she's a better athlete than I ever could have imagined being. Threw a football like nobody's business. Yeah, she's unbelievable. And my family calls her Saint Mary, so for good reason. So
That's
really
great.
fortunate that way.
It's that's unreal, especially like proposing after 3 weeks. That's unreal. I guess it sounds like we can thank the Devils for that, kind of.
I do. I told John McClain that story. I said, you're the reason why I got married. That game-winning goal caused me to ask for tickets for the playoffs, and it is true. I really it was 3 weeks, and I knew. Like as I said, we've been together ever since, and she is the best part of my life, and she knows it, and everyone else knows it. And I got great kids out of it, and they all enjoyed the sport. And my daughter was actually at the game that Wednesday night for the doubles when Jack Hughes came back, and she was at that game, and then the next night she was at the Ranger game. So wow, yeah, she's a diehard fan. She loves the sport. And so does my son. He's he still enjoys it. He coached at Willie P, played at Willie P for a little bit, and so yeah, I mean it's all been a family thing, man. It's been awesome. So I enjoy it. Very blessed.
That's so cool.
It sounds like it.
One of the things that you were just talking about as you were kind of going through like your journey, and you were talking about being the affiliate president, right? If I'm not mistaken. So one of the things, and I know Jamie wanted to dive into this a little bit, Jamie. I think I'm like, getting ahead of you a little bit, but I think even for myself, when I hear about like the affiliates and like how they tie into USA Hockey, and when we had Ken Martell on, and he was talking a bit more about some of that stuff for the developmental league and how things get voted in, etc. I was just speaking for myself. I don't know that I am so clear on kind of like how that works, and without maybe getting into like a lot of detail, could you maybe just kind of like paint a broad picture on kind of like the affiliates and how that whole system works and how it contributes to both USA Hockey and then down to the organizational level?
Sure. So USA Hockey is divided into 12 geographic areas, 12 districts. Some of those districts have multiple affiliates. It's kind of a subset. So the New England district is made up of 5 different states. So the New England states, not counting Massachusetts. Those 5 states each have their own state governance or affiliates. For Atlantic, we're one district, one affiliate. Okay. There are a handful of us that are like that. New York is one state, one affiliate, one district. Mass, Michigan, Minnesota. I think we're the only 5 that are structured that way.
Okay.
There's 32 affiliates throughout the country, and it's just based upon different state needs. Connecticut might adopt rules that Rhode Island doesn't adopt. And so USA Hockey, it's kind of set this in motion a long time ago. There hasn't been much change to that structure. And it's almost like if you can consider, you have the federal government and then you have the states.
Yeah.
And the federal makes some rules and laws, but states have their own ability to set rules and policies. And it's just kind of the same structure. And it's been a network of all volunteers. For the most part. Now most affiliates have paid staff. We have some paid staff, and it's just the work is so voluminous. You need paid support. Like a volunteer is somebody who goes and dedicates 4 or 5 hours a week, maybe at most. In this sport, you have to put in a lot of hours.
Sure.
And so more of the bigger affiliates, Minnesota, Michigan, Oz, New York, we're all finding it necessary to have paid people. And you've got legal issues, that are involved, and from Safe Sport and just other things, just dealing with the appeal process, and that is an important aspect. Every athlete, every coach, every official, when there's disciplinary action, you're entitled to due process, and it has to be cared for, and that's guaranteed under a federal law called the Amateur Sports Act. And the Ted Stevens Amateur Sports Act set up these governance structures. They're called national governing bodies. Every sport has them.
Yeah.
Every sport that competes internationally has them. USA Hockey and a few others, swimming, gymnastics, and a couple of others, are membership driven. It's the bigger picture. It's growing all of the levels of hockey, plus the international teams. There are some NGBs that are set up just to focus in on their international. Like I think the USA Basketball is one where they just focus in on international competition. So that's kind of the structure, and what we've, it's been an outgrowth. We went through a massive governance change a few years ago at the request of the U.S. Olympic Committee. I was part of that task force. It was 18 months of, oh my gosh, so much tedious work, but it was worth it, and it's given us it has given us a better way to govern the sport. I know sometimes you hear stuff that, oh, that's USA Hockey, and
Always.
it's unfortunate. USA Hockey is I have my own criticisms of USA Hockey, and I don't do it privately. I do it fairly publicly, but I do it in the confines of the boardroom, and which is, you can watch those videos and whatnot. But
that's public. It's public knowledge.
It's a great organization that's done so many good things in terms of the curriculum, the American development model. There's a lot of things that it's done exceptionally well, and has created a lot of tools, and they're responsible for the growth of the sport. What you're in now is this battle between the old way of these nonprofit and municipal rinks and so on, and then dealing with the for-profit side, and now even private equity being involved. So there's and they're not the only one. There's a few of them. So
I'm sure.
there's clashes of ideology and what's important. And look, these rinks don't build themselves. You're spending tens of millions of dollars to build them out. And look, do you wish? One of the things that I always see is we're the only Western nation where our government does not make an investment in youth sport, and that should change. I think the Aspen Institute says we spend about $45 billion on youth sports, the entire ecosystem of youth sports, and federal government could write a check for that and wouldn't even know it's missing. So
it's like a rounding error.
Yeah, kind of. When you're cranking out a $6 billion budget, even if they didn't do all of it, if they covered half, we could get more people playing the sport or any sport. It doesn't matter if it's this or soccer, lacrosse. We're hockey folks, and we want to see hockey continue to grow. And I think this Olympic cycle with the men's and women's taking home gold. And I don't want to make any predictions, but I think our disabled team will certainly be in the hunt for the gold medal. Will certainly be in the mix. We've got some guys that are right from this area that play on that team, and so it's just a great time to be involved with our sport. And I'll tell you what, one of the things that I think a lot of people don't understand, and it's not talked about enough, from a collegiate standpoint. The NCAA reports that the hockey players, Division I college hockey players, have one of the highest graduation rates, have one of the highest academic rankings in terms of performance, academic performance. We're always in the top 1, 2, or 3 positions, and often in the 1 or 2 spot in graduation and academic achievement. And so that I think is testament to the quality of the kind of programming that it's, the dedication that it takes to play this sport. And you as hockey dads know what you go through to put your kids through this sport. It's a lot of hours. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of driving. And I tell you what, a lot of money. Well, and that is a challenge. It's funny. The Aspen Institute reported last year that they looked at the window of a 5-year period from like 2018 to 2023. And the average family spend
I can't
on
wait to hear
their
this number. I can't wait to
I'm
hear
going to
this
ask you
number.
to guess. I'm going to ask you to guess. The average family spend on one child on their primary sport.
For
What do
the
you
year, right?
what do you think that number is?
Scott, I'm going to let you
And-
guess first.
Oh,
we'll both take a guess.
sure,
Country.
I have no problem. And
Okay.
this is for any
average.
sport on average.
All sports, all average together. What do you think it is?
Oh, well, I'm going to guess that it's much lower than ice hockey. That's going to be my guess at first, but maybe
Good
I'm wrong.
start.
So I'm going to say on average, let's say for the year, $3,000.
It's $1,100, and it's
$1,100.
it's up 46% from 18 to 20. 2018 to 2023.
Yeah.
And so we spend that in a weekend.
Right.
That's
On
like a
a
skills
home
coach for like a
game.
couple months.
On a
Yeah.
home game. I don't
Yeah.
even want to say what we spent. And so we've
Right.
got to do a better job at getting, and that is not every player in the sport. That's not every corner of the universe. And between us and Canada, we account for 80% of the hockey playing population throughout the world.
Sure.
And so, and we're continuing to grow. The growth is there. We need more access, but just because you have the money, you might, where we live, if you want to go to a rink, you have limited choices, and they're either going to be 15, 20 to 25 minutes away. And if you're a typical family, if you have a household of 3 kids, and somebody's got local gymnastics or local taekwondo or local basketball, now who's got to run down to, Hackensack
Bridgewater or Hackensack.
or Bridgewater or wherever,
Right. Wherever
and
it
get
is.
their kid back, and then I got to drive back and get the other one. It's not, no matter how much money you have, it becomes an unmanageable thing. So we need more rink development. That needs to happen. We need to see that part of the game grow. And I think the NHL has done a spectacular job in supporting growth of hockey in many ways. And we need infrastructure support, and that really needs to come likely from the government. Like, we need state and federal funding to grow these venues. To, you see what happens when you get an award in the Olympics. Well, all of a sudden there's all this money that becomes freed up to build these venues that are needed. Well, we need to do that, for more venues for local sports support. So that's kind of that's the spiel about the governance, and
Sure.
and I know we kind of a little sidetracked there, but I mean, think about it: $1,100, and they're saying that's up 46% in a
Wow.
5-year period. And in hockey, even for a tier 2, reasonable, what are you spending, $4,000 or $5,000?
Yeah, on tuition. Yeah.
On
more than-
tuition alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
That doesn't count anything else.
Not
That's
like
nothing else.
gear.
You could spend $1,000
Sticks.
on skates or more. I think the last pair of skates I bought, I think I spent $300 for me. So I like, those are some of the challenges that that we face. And I also think, if we want to dip into the mindset and how parents, I had the really good fortune of working with an agent. His name is Neil Sheehy, Anders Lee's agent. I think he was Zach Parisi's agent, Ryan Suter's agent. Great guy, Minnesota guy. Didn't take the typical path. Played in Harvard, then went pro. Did some European pro, and then decided to come back and get his law degree and become an agent. And he's a great individual. And I've done some work with him. And we were doing this presentation with some players, and he said, "Do me a favor, put up on the first slide these 2 words: love, big letters, fun." And he said, "Don't show that slide until I tell you." And we had a room full of about 40 players, 14, 15 years old. And I said, "Scott, why do you play hockey?" "Well, I love it." "Well, why do you love it?" "Because it's fun." And Neil would look at me, and the slide would come up, and all of a sudden, love, fun. And these kids all think, "Oh my gosh." Well, that's supposed to be their answer.
Yeah.
And so Neil would tell me, when you're meeting with a family, have that on a piece of paper. And after you're done doing the spiel and they think you've done a nice little parlor trick, slide the paper across to the parents and tell them, post this somewhere where you're going to see it every day, so that you are reminded that it's not about you, it's about their love and fun for the game. You're just there to be the chauffeur and pay the bills.
And the financier, yes. Yep.
And the financier. And believe me, kids remember. I know my kids did. They were so grateful for the hockey experience they had. And there's not too many days that go by where they don't remind me, or my wife. And so there's obviously sacrifice to all that. But getting parents to understand, and it's when you make that kind of investment, you get emotionally invested. And you got to detach and just let it be about them. And when you do that, you'd be surprised. You'll enjoy the experience more, and they will enjoy it more. One of the things that I saw, and I know this is not fair because I know it's not I know a lot of situations that work really well for kids and parents. But I remember distinctly the start of the 2021-22 season coming out of COVID, and the rules loosened up. And I had a handful of coaches and hockey directors call me and say, "Hey, can we bring those restrictions back? Can we keep
because they didn't want the parents in the building."
And they felt like their kids, when there was nobody in the building, that their kids played better.
Of course,
and
they did.
So I can understand that there is definitely different pressures when mom and dad are in or maybe it's one or the other. Players need to, players thrive when they're feeling like, hey, I'm not being judged. And so I always try. I wasn't perfect with it. I was always the first question out of my mouth if I wasn't at the game is, did you have fun? And I'll never forget. I think I told you guys earlier offline. My son switched from forward to defense in his Bantam minor year, and I couldn't be at his first game. They were playing against the Mercer Chiefs, and they called me from the car after his first game, and I said, "Did you have fun? Did you like it?" And he goes, "Well, one thing's for sure: the forwards don't pass back to the D." And I said, "Remember all those times?" And I was like, "Ooh, let me catch myself here."
Right.
And so, you have those moments, but I mean, there is no greater sport. I mean, I know that's a biased comment, but there's just so many things that comes together. There's so much passion and the connection that these players make. You don't have that locker room, in baseball and basketball. Like maybe basketball a little bit, but it's not the same. And so the sacrifice, the commitment, the camaraderie, it's the greatest sport in the world. And as I said, it's been a lifelong passion for me since I was 12 and a half years old.
Yeah.
It creates really good people at the end of the day. I think the game creates really good people.
It does.
Yeah. Well, so there's so many things there, but what I wanted to start getting into a bit is just about junior hockey. And James, sorry if I'm like taking your thunder.
No, that's
we talked
okay.
about this earlier, but so I grew up. I played hockey, before there was AAA in the area, and I played junior B. Was as far as I went. Didn't play
Where'd
in
you
college. So down in Bridgewater with the Rockets.
Who's your coach? Todd Morgan?
No.
Danny O'Brien.
So this was back in 90.
7?
No, it was earlier than 97.
You were in high school, 96?
Yeah, it must have been 90.
Couldn't have been much earlier than that.
It was like
Bridgewater?
96, 97. Okay. Yeah, right around then. Yeah, exactly. So I made the team down there, and then I didn't go on to play the full season. I at that point I was living up here in Franklin Lakes. I was driving down by myself, so that's as far as I got. I didn't play the.
Was Chad Kuvo on that team?
Yeah. Yes. That's yes. That name's 100%.
I know the team.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So for me, but this was interesting, and I think this all kind of what I'm about to say doesn't tie into it, but we're talking about how, it's an amazing sport. One of the things in like the density and like the infrastructure for me as a kid, there wasn't many hockey players around where I grew up. And so by the time I was, able to play at that level, I was driving myself 45 minutes to practice, 3 nights a week. I wasn't getting home until 11 o'clock on a school night. And travel was big on the weekends, which had been consistent for years at this point. And I felt alone. I really felt alone. And I had all my high school friends that had, were like playing football or like local sports, and they all knew each other, and they had the camaraderie, and they had the common, bonds. And I was missing that. And I ultimately gave up on hockey because I felt, I felt isolated, in a lot of ways. I wish I had a better support system at the time, whether, my parents weren't athletes. They were just kind of going with, following my lead. But yeah, it was an interesting time. And I tell my son, you're just so lucky that you have, there's more hockey around. You have friends that are like driving distance. You can, have like these bonds with kids, and you can, go year over year playing with them and potentially, and it's just different, and when we talked to Sadie Lundquist once, and, we had her on the pod, and she was just talking about Minnesota hockey and the community model, and how similar to like kids around here would play baseball, basketball, football. The same is for hockey over there. And I was like, oh my God, could I imagine playing hockey with all my friends for so many years, and blah, blah, blah? It would be a game changer. But nonetheless, I think I'm digressing a little bit. But
no, you're making a great point, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So go ahead if I cut you off.
No, I totally relate to what you're saying. It is that's a big sacrifice for a young athlete to have to do all that driving and be on your own. And for me, it was very similar. I was just very fortunate that the hockey program, they provided transport. They had a bus for away games. So,
Yeah.
and I didn't even have to go where the bus was meeting everybody. I could just walk right down the block, and the highway was right there, and they'd pull over and they'd pick me up. And, so I had that support system. And when we did spring hockey, other parents were responsible, and they knew the circumstances. And, so you do end up doing a lot of this at that time alone.
Yes.
And I absolutely can understand that. And so think about it then. It was a big sacrifice, tuition based. You got to pay to play. You're doing a lot of driving, and so I think right around that time is when we started to raise standards, and where you had a bus to games that were more than a certain amount of miles, and you started to have to do certain things that made sense in the tuition level of junior hockey. So it is a big sacrifice, especially back then.
Yeah. No, for sure. And yeah, no, it's so interesting. And if I could do it over again, I would have. I wish I had been in a position where I was either had more determination, maybe is the right word, on my end to go further, because I wasn't a bad hockey player. But I want to be able to provide, or just for my son, just the support network to help him through the tough times. Because like when we talked to Doug Christensen, we said for any hockey player at any level, the price of admission gets high at some point. And if you're not loving it, it's just like the cost can be too much. And that I kind of feel like that analogy applies to what I went through. It was just too much for what I was willing to do. And anyway, but
you're no worse off for it, because those are decisions you make. And I think today, there's a lot of conversation around getting players to understand adversity. The great John Cooper, who was a product of the USHL, product of the North American League, product of the Central States Hockey League. His journey is amazing. He ended up jumping into coaching hockey because he wanted a clerkship with a judge's office in Michigan. And he said, if you agree to take my son's high school hockey team, we'll give you the clerkship. And he did. That's how he got started. At least that's my understanding of it. And I know John pretty well. And he was doing I think it was a level 5 coaching symposium. And he said, parents, get your players, get your kids to want to embrace adversity. Get them to embrace it. And because when it gets hard, and we see it in the USHL, where it's really hard. It's Rand Pecknold has the best quote. I've stolen the quote from him. I've shared it without his permission, but he doesn't squawk back about it. He said to me, we were doing our draft in his building 2 years ago, and he said, I don't consider the USHL to be a development league. This was a private conversation. And my heart sunk, because, here's the great Rand Pecknold, one of the greatest NCAA coaches, and runs an incredible program at Quinnipiac. And I'm thinking, oh gosh, where's this going? And he said, I consider the USHL to be a survival league. And what do you mean? He goes, the kids we get from the USHL are just so battle tested. They're so hard. He goes, we throw everything at them as freshmen, and they just handle it. And I think you can point to one player on their team this year. I talk about him a lot, Ethan Wittenbach, a kid from Long Island, young man from Long Island. I've gotten to know him and his family, and they're awesome people. Ethan spent 1 year in the USHL, ended up getting drafted by Calgary, and now is as a freshman at Quinnipiac, and he's leading the NCAA in total points, leading as a freshman. And that has everything to do with how hard of a year he had. He had an injury. He had overcome a lot of adversity. And, at the end of the year, he was awarded, recognized as the Gaudreau Award winner, which is a special award we have in honor of Matthew and Johnny. And Matthew and Johnny's parents were there to make the presentation in front of 12,000 fans in Sioux Falls. Wow. Yeah, it was pretty spectacular moment. And but that's the adversity that John Cooper was talking about. Like, you have to battle through. This is hard. It's hard to play in the USHL. It's hard to score in this league. And I think that level of adversity is the reason why 50% of college hockey are players that came out of the USHL. 16-team league, 27.5% of last year's NHL rosters were USHL alum. We had more players that were signed as free agent signings. And you look at their pathway, and our new mantra this year is our path, your pace. Tynan Lawrence is expected to go in the top 10 of the draft this year, and he left our league in the middle of the season to go to BU. And our path, your pace. And if BU is ready for you, and same thing with Yegeroff, the goaltender for BU, who was at Omaha. And so that is embracing it. That's a player then saying, okay, I've done a good job here. I am ready for the next level. And clearly Division I college hockey is the next level. And I think that's what our formula is really built around, preparing you for college and pro. And when you look at the way our schedule rolls out, I think it's 89% of our games this year fall on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, which means Monday through Thursday we're training. And Sunday's recovery day. And so these are the things that are just so hard on athletes. But you know what? We try to give them the best possible environment. We're not perfect. We're working towards it. But I always consider the USHL like Disney World. We're going to be forever a work in progress. We're always going to be looking to be better and stronger and faster and all of that. So, that's the thing that, back to the Cooper comment, in getting families and parents to understand about the value of embracing adversity. We heard our Olympians, both from the men's and women's team, talk about it's the losses that have made the difference in their careers. It's the pains that they've gone through. Do you think Jack Hughes was in pain in the last 10 minutes of that game? He may not have been feeling it, but he paid some prices in that game, and so did a lot of other athletes. Sidney Crosby, as well, paid a price to try to help his team. So it is all about, how hard this is. It's not supposed to be easy, right, to get this level.
It's funny. So can you actually describe, give like a juniors 101 to people that don't know what juniors are, because I have a feeling a lot of our listeners who have younger kids have no clue what juniors are. I mean, my kids just finished his first year bantam, and to be totally honest with you, Glenn, I mean, I know a little bit more, but there's so many, but there's tier 1 juniors, there's tier 2 juniors. Can you kind of give
sure,
your 101 juniors?
Yeah. So you have tuition-based junior hockey. You have tier 2 junior hockey, which is ostensibly free, but you pay for certain things. And then you have tier 1, where it's almost exclusively free. We pay for, in the USHL, we pay for your billeting fee. We pay for your sticks, your skates, all of your gear, your gitch, everything. We pay for all your transportation on the road, like buses, hotels, and meals on the road, like all of that stuff we pay for. That may not be the same experience at other levels of junior hockey. And then you have the tuition-based junior hockey. And some of those teams and programs do an outstanding job. There's a couple of them that I can think of off the top of my head. I know Chris Sorella in the EHL does an unbelievable job. And I hear things about how he promotes players, and he's never over promoting kids, and they're largely D3. That's kind of been their sweet spot. So it is digging in and finding players that had experience there, and I think I tell families all the time, reach out to a player that played there two years ago, find out what his
Right.
experience was like. Um, so from an experience standpoint, we have an obligation because of our license with USA Hockey, that we have certain mandates that we have to meet. And I think those we're going to see us do even more in the coming year, in this coming season, in terms of what we provide for our players. And so it's making sure that they have everything they need, from academic support, off ice training, strength and conditioning, mental support. We use the Adversity program. Um, I think almost all of our teams have a minister, from Hockey Ministries.
Neat.
And it's voluntary. It's all like, it's kind of separated for a reason, but it is all, Hockey Ministries has provided us with ministers for the teams, because for several players it's important. You watch a
Sure.
couple of USHL games, get to the end of the game, and you might see not one team but both players from both teams come to center ice and huddle, and
Yeah.
presumably they're saying a prayer, or
Yep.
they're doing something at the end of the game, and we're just kind of making an assumption what it is. But all of those things are important, because when you leave home, like, this is what you're faced with, and you're living in someone else's house on a mission to become a Division 1, and maybe with a little bit more work, you're going to be an NHL player. And so from our end of it, that's with the Tier 1 experience. I think Tier 2 would be the North American League. And they have a little bit more latitude in terms of what they provide and not provide. I don't believe they village fees. I think there's a few other things that they don't pay for that we do. And then the tuition base is, it's all over the map, to be quite honest. You have teams that do an outstanding job to teams that don't do a good job at all. And then that's probably like any profession. You could talk to plumbers, electricians, realtors. It's going to run the gamut, right? So you're going to have good operators in tuition-based junior hockey, and not good operators. What I will tell you is 95% of the Division 1 men's hockey rosters will pass through a junior hockey team before entering college.
Right.
Hockey and tennis are the only two sports that allow the 21-year-old freshman. Those are the only two sports. So I happen to think those 2 years are really beneficial. It's not just the hockey development. By the way, this year's freshman class, you know how many birth years are represented in this year's freshman Division 1 class? I was stunned.
gonna say,
9 birth years.
I was gonna say
9
like
No
4.
way.
9 different
Wow.
birth years are
Okay.
represented in this
That's
year's freshman
wild.
class. I'm dumbfounded by it.
Yeah.
And so that shouldn't
9.
be. And it has,
like a
the
decade.
NCAA's got to get their act together with some of that stuff. But and so the sweet spot for junior players is usually going to be in that 17, 18-year-old category.
Okay.
Most of our players, I think most of our largest class is 18-year-olds. It's probably close to half the league. But there are some 16-year-olds that play, 17-year-olds. I know there's pressure on us to get younger. I think our average age this year at the start of the season was 18.2.
Okay.
We are capped at no more than 4 20-year-olds. And so I think and I think most of our teams max out at 4 20-year-olds. They're not, they don't leave too many of those holes open, but it has a lot to do
Right.
with the shifting sand of college too. If they've committed and they want you to
Right.
wait another year, so you have some of that to deal with. And again, I think from the tuition-free programming, I think the North American League gets, they get their share of Division 1 players, a lot of Division 3 players. And I think, obviously with the changing landscape with the CHL becoming eligible, but I think their model is very different from ours. Theirs is more of a professional model where they'll
The
play Tuesday,
Canadian.
they'll play
Yeah.
Thursday. Their cadence to their schedule is not, I don't think, is the best developmentally. I think what we do is developmentally smart and sound so that you're getting more practice time. We do have a 2-to-1 practice to game ratio. And,
Right.
and that could vary from team to team depending on how their schedule broke. Some of these teams play in buildings that are concert venues, and there's other sports that get played in there. So you are subject to, the availability. That is no differently in the professional world, but we do
Right.
try to keep to that. We want to maintain that 90% threshold on weekend schedule so that it's when you move to college, because 95% of our players will go on to Division I college hockey.
Right.
Well, we want them to follow that same pattern when they enter into college. They're practicing Monday through Thursday. They're playing Friday, Saturday. Hopefully they had a good weekend and coach gives them off on Sunday. So there's 64 Division I programs now. The Maryville coming online today.
I saw that in St. Louis, right?
Yeah, and I'm hoping to see that the Tennessee State gets moving and they get their program off the ground. We need college hockey to grow. I mean, just to give you a comparison, the Division I freshman class average is about 500 players. 500. That's it. Division III is about 700. Do you know how many freshman football players there are in D1, 2, and 3?
There's got to be a truckload of them.
18,000 freshmen.
Right.
Not counting red shirts.
Right.
And so when you think about the scale between college football and college hockey, we're tiny. And so we need to see college hockey. In order for the rest of the sport to grow, we need college hockey to grow at all levels, D1, 2, 3, however we can make it grow. And hockey, believe it or not, in the college level is the third highest revenue sport on a per team basis. Granted, it's smaller, but they are third. It's football, basketball, and then hockey. And so, there's incentive, but you have to build $100 million building to make it work, right? So there's challenges to it, but I'm waiting. There's going to be an SEC school that's going to pop. They're going to go. There's going to be a hockey program down there, and the next thing you know, I think so. I think that could happen, and when that does, you're going to see a bunch more come online.
Oh, sure.
Because if they have it, we got to have it. Like that.
Like Auburn, LSU, you're going to see the Ole Miss, you're going to see them all, and then like Duke, UNC, you're going to see all those schools.
Can you imagine? Like that would just it's such a boom for the sport, and hopefully these Olympic gold medals will spur people, programs on and universities say, hey, this is. I mean, think about it. What other Olympic moments gets this kind of attention?
Yeah.
Internationally, what about the Four Nations? I mean, we lost in overtime in that one, but
it was great
when mainstream media is talking about, not sports media, mainstream media was talking about the Four Nations, and let's be honest, we're a very nationalistic sport, but you had 28 million people watching at 8 o'clock in the morning. Can you imagine if the other 3 hours of our nation we're actually starting at noontime, maybe I get it. I understand Olympic closing ceremonies and all that stuff, but man, it is,
great.
Everybody was watching and to see the videos of bars opened at 8 o'clock in the morning and filming reactions and, tell me another Olympic event. And I think Sports Illustrated did a survey years back that said the single greatest moment in all of sports was the 1980 Olympic men's gold medal. And I think we're going to look back 10 years from now and see this was such an unbelievable men's and women's gold.
Yes.
So this could be the shot that's heard, around the country and spark the next generation of fans. And hopefully that happens. It takes time to see it happen. It takes a few years, but it does kick in. And that's when we had the unprecedented growth here in New Jersey and Eastern PA. Devils winning a Stanley Cup in '95 certainly helped.
Yeah,
And having a great team like that. I think the Rangers winning in '94 helped the region.
Sure.
So those things do drive. I mean, look at how it's growing in Florida. Between the Panthers and the Lightning. I mean, so those kinds of things create just such a great buzz. And so back to your original question about junior hockey, it is looking for a program that is developed players. It's being realistic about where your child is in terms of their abilities, and understanding that playing junior hockey at the USHL level is a hard thing. It's hard, and you have to be prepared for it. Like you can't throw in the towel when you've been dropped to the fourth line and you're not on power play. It only gets harder from here. And I will say this, I've had NHL players tell me this. I've had college players tell me this. The single most challenging moment for them in their career was not going from junior to college or college to pro or junior to pro. It was going from youth to junior. They've said that was the single, and that seems to be uniform. It is a big, big step going from that level, from youth to junior. And if that's something that gets you excited as a player, then we're the right spot for you. If you're looking for an easy road, don't come here. It's a tough. And I don't mean that it's tough in terms of. It's probably more mentally tough.
Right.
It's a mental toughness and physically demanding. There's no question about that. But we run a good league. We have a player safety department. Just a nuance that most people don't realize. We have in a closed system. We have a 6-camera system. It's all kind of AI driven. It's under the Speedio system, and it tells you how important it is. It's funded by the NHL. And it's part of our player NHL. All the NHL teams have access to it to watch games and whatnot. But we use it for player safety so that, every play is reviewed that, that could be that can cause suspension. And so the league office is always watching. We see everything. You're not subject to the cameraman's view. We see every inch of the ice from multiple cameras. And so that's a message we want to send to families. Like you're sending your son to a safe that puts safety as a priority. And that's important for families to know. It is about skill development. It is about becoming an elite player. This isn't about being a thug league. We are developing some of the best players in the world. Jack Hughes played in the USHL. His brother played in the USHL. In fact, 45 of the Olympians on 10 different nations teams played in the USHL. 22 played for Team USA.
That's right. The NDTP has a team in your league, right?
Yeah. Their 17 team and their 18 team both play in the league.
Right. Oh, they both do. Interesting.
Yeah, they play a split. They play one team schedule, but split.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And there's a draft
for their development.
Yeah, and there's the USHL has 2 drafts. Am I correct? Different ages. Does that sound right?
Phase 1. Yeah, phase 1, phase 2. And I think those are birth year driven. We have a lot of information on our website about that. Our combines are kind of structured the same way. We have a phase 1 and phase 2 combine, and then we have a player development combine. We're going to be announcing, this will probably be the first public announcement of it. We're going to be doing a 14-year-old event, a 14U event, up in Walpole this June. And we'll have some more information out about that. We expect NTDP, their evaluation staff will be in attendance. We're somebody from Central Scouting. We're probably going to have an agent or 2 there to explain agency. And it's going to be an intimate event. It's going to be less than 80 players. It's going to be really focused on explaining the development process, because we think this is the age where players really need to start understanding what they need to be doing to become the very best version of themselves. Yeah. And so that'll be another series that we'll announce shortly that you'll be seeing posted up on our website soon.
It's great.
Yeah, so for kids and their families that are like in youth hockey, midget, they're looking at like 17, 18 in like that age range. in terms of those players that are on the the top end of their youth teams, are all any kid that is making their way to the USHL, like in terms of being recruited, the scouting process, how many players are with social media and all the other tools that are available. I mean, surely you have your finger on the pulse and know who's who and where they are. But is it all a recruitment process, or is there a pathway for players to kind of like get in front of the USHL? I know you just talked about this, the 14-year-old, but is that like an invite thing? Like, kind of how does that work?
All of our teams run camps in. They have open camps in June. And listen, it's I don't want to say it's a long shot. Our teams pick up a lot of players out of those camps. There's not a lot. If you're a great player, everyone's going to know who you are.
Right.
But the great players are fewer and far between. The rest of the players get developed over time. And again, I used Ethan Wittenbeck as an example. He's a kid, came out of Long Island, hoping to make Sioux Falls last year, makes it, hoping to make the third line. Not only makes the third line, gets selected to play in the prospects game, gets drafted, and the rest of the story. Like, gets drafted by Calgary. And so, like, that's a kid who really took advantage of everything that the Sioux Falls had to offer him to develop into the great player that he is now. And he's a Hobie Baker candidate. Like, these are things that can happen for any player who wants it and wants to put the work in. So today there's no faking it. And there's not a lot of secrets, but there are players that all of a sudden pop up and they show up at a camp, and the next thing you know, they're selected for the team. So I say, when you have the opportunity to compete with and against those players at open camps, it's absolutely worth doing. Yeah, you're going to pay money, and I know that probably grates on people. But if you knew that the team operated a $2 million budget, to run their run their team, you'd understand that what these teams ask for in these open camps, it's they have to get a lot of people there, and it's there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just a haphazard, let's just put it together. And what's interesting to me is a lot of the college guys go to these camps. They go to watch players.
I'm sure.
So it's not just not just going to a camp. You're also going to an exposure. Event.
Right.
And so I think for players like that, I think players, especially elite players, don't take enough time, enough break in the off season. And I say break, I mean, you don't need to be at every single exposure event. I told this on Topher Scott's show the other day. My buddy John Riley, who's an Atlantic District guy, ran our player development program for a number of years, was scouting with the Flyers. He's now with Tampa. John used to say, be careful about going to too many exposure events. You might get exposed. And I think I think you know how he meant. Like, these events, you're more likely to make more mistakes if you're fatigued and you're not rested and you're not training properly. There's a whole science to how elite athletes train today. It's not like what it was just even 20 years ago. And so I think players need to know how to rest their body. Playing other sports are really important. Having a hobby is important. They find that some of the best hockey players have other hobbies. It's true. I just heard that, and I'm trying to remember where I heard it. Somebody else was talking about it on another show I was listening to. And so you don't have to, like, I see these stories about, well, this weekend we're going up to this cup, and next weekend we're going to that tournament, and then we're going to this tournament, that. Take some breaks from it. Get away from the game, because you know what? You're going to come back in September and you're going to be hungry. You're going to want to play. You'll be chomping at the bit, and your body will be rested. Go play baseball. Go do some other stuff. I'm sure there's a bunch of people screaming right now that are thinking this is heresy, that, don't tell kids not to come. Yeah, I mean, I think players need to get a break, and I think it's important to do that. And so, from a getting noticed standpoint, as I said, there's not a lot of secrets, but I'll give you this. there's a portion of players, about 25% of the league actually comes from Minnesota. Minnesota high school players make up a big chunk of our players. And if you think about how they are structured in Minnesota, they don't amalgamate their talent. All of their kids play high school hockey. Now, granted, it's a very different model, very community based. You can hit a rink with a 3-iron from just about every home in Minnesota. If not a brick and mortar one that's maybe in your backyard. It's just how it is. And so it's a different thing. And so they disproportionately have unbelievable representation in the National Hockey League and at the collegiate level, both men's and women's. So you take them out of the equation and you take the players out of that have come out of other junior programs that get to the USHL. That's this year's roster. Just counting youth, 54 different youth organizations from 74 different teams within those youth organizations are represented on USHL rosters. 54 clubs. Everybody that's paying attention to rankings, stop paying attention to rankings. They don't make you a better player. They do nothing for your development. What you need to, and so unfortunately, sometimes coaches get really their heads wrapped around, oh, we got to beat them by 6. Throw that out the window. That is not going to make you a better player.
It's so true.
And call anybody out that thinks that they matter. They don't matter. They want to know that you're a good player. And so there's a handful of teams that feed a large number of their players to the USHL. And that has a lot to do with the amalgamation of talent, maybe into the top 10, 12 teams. But after that, think about it. 54 different AAA organizations are represented in the USHL right now today. And that doesn't count any kid that came out of another junior program, because those kids played AAA
somewhere else
the year before or 2 years before. So all I'm saying is focus in on development. Find the coach that is, I call it a transformational coach. If you ever want to read a good book about coaching, read Inside Out Coaching by Joe Ehrman, and it is all about transformational coaches. John Cooper is probably the epitome of a transformational coach. He always put his athletes first. And by doing that, it created unbelievable team success. And John's not the only one. There's a lot of great transformational coaches out there. I have a ton of them in the USHL. They get it. They understand that it's about, because when you put their needs, your players' needs and wants and goals and dreams first, they're going to achieve beyond expectations. And that means if they're achieving, the team is achieving, which then is a reflection on the coach. So the coach gets his due just by making sure that those players feel good and feel safe to be able to develop their skills and make mistakes and work hard through those mistakes. The whole rankings thing, I can get really heated about it. I really do. It makes me, and I know the guys that run, and they're good guys. But it's just this franticness about, oh, we got to beat them by 6, and we can't play them. Teams canceling games because it'll hurt our rankings. Grow up. It's not about that.
That's the stupid parent side of it. It was originally put together for good reasons, right? And then people started using it for stupid reasons.
Well, I think this is one of the mistakes that USA Hockey makes, because it's used in part to determine the at-large bid. It's not the exclusive determining factor, but it's a big part of it. And I think that's a mistake, because I think that drives the craziness around rankings. And as I said, the last I looked, there's no ranking that ever made a player better. And in fact, if anything, it makes players worse. And so, because it makes the team's infrastructure worse, it makes coaching, it deteriorates the way coaches should be functioning, and that is developing their players. And I think that's something that our teams really understand. And in order to play in this league, you can't play 2 lines. You won't get away with playing 2 lines. Everybody's got to play. You got 21 guys on the bench. Guess what? They all got to play, because
Yeah.
It's 60 minutes of hardcore hockey, and
Right.
you know, I encourage anyone. We have some games that we have that we call Live to Social. They're free. You find them on Amazon Prime, Fubo, or
Oh,
two of the
nice.
platforms, and go look for those games. And I, you know, if you, I'm amazed at the number of AAA players. They say they want to play college hockey and they've never been to a college game. And like, if that's the level you want to get to, how do you know, like, without having been there? Well, same thing for the USHL. Dial in. Like, I'm not asking you to go pay a fee to watch us on our, Flow streaming platform. Go to the games that are free and watch how our teams play, and
Yeah.
watch how they're coached. And as I said, it's a pretty cool thing.
Go,
I'm
James.
curious. Are Canadian kids allowed to come down and play in the USHL?
Sure, they do.
They are.
Macklin Celebrini played in the USHL, played for the Chicago Steel.
Oh,
Yep.
that's right. Yes. Okay. And has that
So
always
did,
been
so
like
did
that?
Adam Fantilli and Owen Power.
Oh, yeah,
And
sure. Yeah,
we've
yeah.
had Scantlebury, I think, plays for Chicago now. Like, we've got some great Canadian hockey players.
Gotcha.
So-
So they picked the USHL over the OHL and,
Yes.
all those Canadian leagues. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
That whole landscape is become so interesting now, obviously with the NIL money, and now you can, you don't lose your eligibility if you go play NCAA, et cetera. Like, in terms of, like, it sounds like there's going to be more of an influx of Canadians coming to the States than maybe there were previously. How has it, if at all, changed the USHL level? And then that said, if there were more Canadians coming south of the border, in turn, are you seeing more Americans going up to the, north of the border, or it's kind of too early to tell?
No. There was an immediate rush, and I think it's the greener grass syndrome.
Right.
As I said, I think this will all settle out pretty quickly. As I said, I know our development model is actually better, and one of the things that I've said, and I'm not trying to be funny about this, but our superpower is to take players that you would say are 6s and 7s rated, and we turn them into 8s and 9s. And the last I looked in college hockey and in the NHL, there's a lot more 8s and 9s than 10s by a
Sure.
lot.
A lot,
And
right.
so we're building those players, and we're really good at it. And our model has proven to be really good at it. And so, we saw that, but I think the level of play is still really good in the league, and we'll have those issues. But now we're starting. There's some differences too in the way they operate in terms of contracting. So you sign a contract in the CHL, you're bound to that team for 3 years. And so that changes some of the dynamics in terms of how recruiting works. And so I think that will get addressed and fixed in the very near future. You might have read some of these meetings with the CHL and the USHL along with the National Hockey League. They very much want a cohesive.
Right.
They want a very cohesive system, and I'll say this. I don't think this is violating any confidentiality, but on day 2 of our meetings at the NHL offices, Gary Bettman was in the room, and he went around and thanked everybody for being there. And he said, we want you to work together. We need you to work together. And we want you to help us grow the game. And understand this, nothing is ever going to be perfect. And with that, I'll leave you with Deputy Commissioner Bill Daly, and have a good meeting. And he walked out. That's Gary's way of saying, figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Make it work. We need a viable, healthy ecosystem. And, and I think Gary and Bill have proven year over year that they get what they want. They know how to get it done in a good way. And they've been great partners for us. And they've certainly been great partners for the CHL. And where we are in the ecosystem is, we're at the very top for 16 to 19-year-old, 16 to 20-year-old athletes. And then the next level is college. One of the things that I hear, the USHL is a 2-step league. You got to go somewhere else before you get to the National Hockey League. Well, here's the truth. Every league outside of the American Hockey League is a two-step league. Everything below that is a two-step league. 78% of this year's NHL players all passed through the American Hockey League. Then you had another swath of them that came from European Pro. And you had another bunch that came from college. And then you had a handful of players that came directly I think 12 that came directly out of junior hockey. That's rare. There's just not a lot of players that are able to make that leap. And so you're going to have more development time. And that is recognizing the role we take. Like, we take great pride when a player leaves and goes to the American League or goes to college hockey. Like, that's what our role is in the ecosystem. And we get excited about that. That's something we celebrate. And so we're going to continue to do that because that's the path. I think if it's not clear to everyone, I think the NHL is recognizing that the NCAA is probably the best way to develop players prior to coming into the National Hockey League. I mean, think about what they provide. I mean, it's an NHL-like environment. You have physicians and nutritionists and every other specialist that you could possibly need in that environment. And these college programs do an amazing job, and we're trying to mimic as much of that as we can. And we're able to do that thanks, to support from USA Hockey and the NHL. So we're going to get better at telling our story, and I think we've done a really good job with that over the last year. Hopefully us and some of the CHL teams will get a chance to play some preseason games this year.
That'd be amazing.
Which I know the scouts want to see it, and hopefully they'll take us up on our offer, and we've kind of made an outreach to say, hey, let's get an exhibition preseason series kind of set up, and let's have some fun with it. And listen, we're here to help grow the game and take advantage of all the opportunities that are in front of us. And as I said, I see a bright future. I think the NHL sees a bright future as well. This is a change in a rule of eligibility. It did not change the way we develop players. There's a reason why we've been able to lead the way we have in terms of NHL and collegiate placement. And as I said, we're just going to continue to get better at it.
So let me ask this: in terms of junior hockey, we're talking here, and I can imagine a lot of families, parents, whatever, they're just like, oh my God, like this is what an amazing opportunity if my kid ever had it. In terms of misunderstandings about what junior hockey is, or are there any common ones that you would say, or any myth busting you could do that potentially people get wrong about junior hockey?
Well, I would probably throw that back at you. If you're aware of any, you should tell me, and I can probably dispel them.
Fair.
One of the things, you're going to live in a lousy basement somewhere. All of these billet families, go through a screening and vetting process. Most of these families are longtime billets, lifers, and will, been billeting for these teams for 20 plus years. And so what you're getting. The houses are all previewed ahead of time, and making sure that it's a good living condition. There are some demands that you integrate yourself within the family, and you participate in family functions. And and I will tell you, I hear stories that these kids, now married with kids, and their kids are playing, and they go back and visit their billet family. And so it's an amazing relationship that gets built. I never billeted as a player, but I did billet as a GM. I started the Bismarck Bobcats back in '97, and I became very close with the billet family, and I'm still friends with them today. And I practically lived at their house because I was a young guy living away from home, and my wife and kids were here in Ridgewood, and I'm, I was spending 25 days a month out in Bismarck. And so you still long to be part of a family. And so I totally can have that relatability, although just a little differently. And so I think that's probably a myth that needs to be these billet homes are really nice. I mean,
Yeah.
some of the stories I've heard is that, some of these billets are these kids live like kings.
Some of the
Like, it's
stories are
just
yes, we've heard a bunch
yes.
of people we've had on. We've asked for billet stories. They're great.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it's like
Yeah.
these kids get treated like royalty.
Yes. Yes.
The husbands will say, "My wife won't cook these kind of meals for me, but she's making steak and whatever." And so it's great to hear. It's great to hear that.
Yeah.
I stick out like a sore thumb when I go to our games. I'm always in a suit, and I just it's just a
Yeah.
habit, and and so all the fans know, like, when I'm there, like, you're the commissioner, and they're always willing to share their stories. So I've bumped into billet families, and even I was actually at Quinnipiac for a game earlier this year. I think their first home game of the season, and I saw a billet. There was a billet family there watching their player who was
Yeah.
he was his first year, and I can't remember who they were playing. I don't know if it was it Maine? It might have been Maine, and their kid was playing for Maine and had played in the USHL. And they said, "Aren't you the commissioner of the league?" And they came over and chatted with me for a while. But that'll just tell you the connection that they have,
Yeah.
with the players. And so I think that's probably one. I'm in it every day, so I would normally hear the bad news, and
Sure.
I don't hear a lot of I don't hear those kinds of issues. Um, you might have squabbles over custom sticks, and this lie isn't. You hear those little things, but other than that,
That's
like I
trivial
don't.
stuff. That's like nothing.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I don't think you hear too much. And I mean, look, that's. Um, I'm sure everything isn't perfect. I'm sure there are things we would want to do, but that's the case for any league, across the NCAA deals with it. I'm
Anything.
sure there are teams in college hockey that wish they were doing it a little better, a little differently, and so I think that's been our goal over the last 3 seasons, is to raise the standard and improve what we do and provide the best possible experience. And as I said, I think that there's a crop of players out there that we can take and develop into high performance athletes that can move on to to college and professional hockey. And again, it really does boil down to what they want, and that really is, if you want this bad enough, you're going to do it. You're going to go through the hard work to make yourself the very best athlete you can possibly be. And by the way, I will say, we don't just have opportunities for players. We have opportunities for front office, ticket sales, GMs, head coaches, assistant coaches, equipment managers,
Right.
officials. We have a pretty robust officiating program that's part of the national officiating development staff. A lot of guys that have gone on that are now still working in the American Hockey League. A couple of guys that are in the National Hockey League. Ryan Daisy, for one, was one of the linesmen actually in the Olympics this year.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
there's opportunities in our league for every aspect of the game, administrators, team presidents, and so on. And I think that's something that people forget. It's not just for players. And we kind of embrace that even in the league office, where, we expect our staff, if they see a job that they want to go after, we support them. We want them to go after that. You
Yeah.
want to be an assistant coach in college hockey, or you want to be
That's
an
great.
assistant AD or an SID or whatever. Like, we're there to support you to get there, because the higher you go up in the hockey ladder, that's just better for us.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Do you see the USHL expanding at all? You guys are 16 teams. Do you see that growing at all? Obviously, with like all the registration in youth hockey. Do you see
Yeah.
that down the road?
The NHL and USA Hockey have kind of, it's not a mandate, but it's damn near close to one.
They want you
they
to.
want us to expand. I'm
Yeah.
actually flying tomorrow morning to an expansion location, an undisclosed expansion location.
Interesting.
We're eyeballing. We have two that should likely come online for the 27 season.
Gotcha.
We've got a huge opportunity on the West Coast that we're evaluating and working with that group, with very
Great.
close ties to NHL teams, and that's an important initiative. And so I would imagine by the 18 or the 28-29 season, we'll be at 20 teams in our proper territory, and then working through expansion in the West and in the South as well. So, and again, part of the challenge for us to do this, and I think people forget, like all the professional hockey teams for the most part, especially at the minor levels and below, are all in the United States. There's
Right.
only like 1 or 2 American League teams in Canada, and I think maybe 1 team in the Coast League in Canada. So all of professional hockey is here, minor professional hockey. And what does that mean? They take those buildings, the buildings that you would need to have. So it's finding the right situations. And Middletown, Ohio, is one that we've been public about. We're waiting for, there's just some, I think there's just some final sign off on, some bureaucratic process that has to work its way through. And I think that they'll be breaking ground soon. We've got another one that we're working on that's an imminent situation that we hope to announce soon. So expansion's definitely there's 15 different locations that want to be in the USHL, and
Right.
I will tell you, over the last month, we've gotten more calls from prospective investors and potential team owners that want to buy into the league, and that's great for us. And like, it doesn't look like any of our teams are selling, so that should be a very telling sign that everyone knows that the USHL has a really, really bright future. So I think that's a plus. So expansion, absolutely. USA Hockey and the NHL want us to create more opportunities, and we're obviously we're obviously going down that road.
It's great.
That's
Awesome.
unreal.
Yeah.
Well, listen, Glenn, we've been on for an hour 20. This has been there's I know it's wild.
Sorry, having fun.
No,
this is great.
don't be. This is unreal, learning so much. But obviously, don't want to take up more of your time.
Your entire evening.
Yeah, but
it's all good. I cleared the calendar, boys.
No, it's all good. I'm sure we, down the road, we'd love to reconnect with you and just, learn more about as things develop at the USHL. And I'm sure as we get questions from our listeners, we're going to want to reach back out and, learn some more about what our audience is interested in learning. But one thing before we go, and I don't know if my camera, if it's going to show this backwards or forwards, but I actually wanted to share this with you.
Uh-oh. I hope I'm not going to be embarrassed. Yeah. Yes, that is awesome. I think I have that.
You have it too?
So
that's funny.
My wife,
before she was
my wife, she was I don't remember the number. What is it? The 348 Club? It was during the big snowstorm.
Yeah.
My wife had to go to the hotel to pick up the referees because it was snowing so bad. And there was actually less than 300 people in the building, but they had everybody sign this sheet if you were there and you got this special badge. She still has it.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, and it might have been like 86 or 87. I don't remember what year it was. And I definitely have stuff. I was actually a stringer for UPI in those years from 88 to 96.
Okay.
And I covered the Devils.
Oh, wow. Amazing.
When you're a stringer, that's like you're the lowest rung of journalism and reporting. But I had great access, and I was there in 95 when they won. I was there when Stefan Cho got the goal. I'll never forget it. I was covering that in the Garden, and then I was there in 95 when they won it. Jimmy Dowd was somebody who's a dear friend that I've known since he was a kid. Jimmy Dowd actually handed me the Stanley Cup to pass to Billy Guerin. And I was like,
awesome.
I threw out the first question to Governor Christy Todd Whitman because there was some rumors that the Devils were going to leave. There was some talk that Gaylord Entertainment out of Nashville was going to buy the Devils and move them to Nashville at that time.
Right.
And her husband and a few others, they got together to work out a better a better lease at the
Like Brendan Byrne.
Brendan Byrne Arena. I still call it the Brendan Byrne Arena.
Yeah,
I do too. I
absolutely.
can't call it Continental Airlines or
Continental
whatever,
Airlines,
whatever
well,
it is today.
The Izod
Yeah.
Center. Now
Izod,
it's
yeah.
closed.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
dead.
Yeah. It'll always be Brendan Byrne.
It was the Brendan Byrne Arena, and
Yeah.
to be there, I was in that building until about 3 a.m. I watched Marty Brodeur put his new baby in the cup, and I mean, it's just
That's
it was.
awesome.
I have a newspaper. It was a mock newspaper sports section from the Bergen Record that the Bergen Record had printed in advance of the game, should they win, and they had swept Detroit, if you remember.
Detroit, yeah.
And they handed that out, and I got an autograph from every single player on the team except for one. And he wouldn't sign it. He said he'd done, and it was Claude Lemieux.
No.
So, but I got everybody else's signature, and it was amazing. It was just an amazing time for hockey. And I mean, to see them get to the Game 7 with the Rangers, and and obviously they won it. But I will say, Kenny Danico asked me this question a while back. He goes, "What was your favorite season?" And I said, well, I know this sounds selfish or crazy because I'm a Devils fan, but 95, but not just because the Devils won.
Yeah.
It was a short season.
It's a short season, right?
Every single game, those players were well rested, right?
Yeah.
They didn't start till January.
That's right.
And it was an unbelievable run because every single point counted. Everything mattered. Every game was like a playoff game.
Yeah.
And it was just a great season to watch. And so, it's just, those are good memories. But being a stringer, oof, you're low man on the but I had a great seat. I had a nice center seat in the press box, in that main press box loge.
Yeah.
And it was great. And worked with some amazing people there. I actually worked alongside John Delapina, who's, heads up all of communications for the NHL. And, so it was just kind of interesting to see how it all panned out for everybody after that.
Yeah.
Unreal. Yeah, no, my father started getting tickets shortly after they'd come over from Colorado, split season tickets. So as a kid, when I was in the first grade, I started going to Devils games, way back in the day, and happened I got so lucky because they would split the playoff tickets also, and we got Game 4, in 95, and was there, and I actually just came across my scrapbook. My wife brought it back from storage. I thought it had gone missing, but she found it, and in there was like a few of these towels that they had handed out. I got one from the 88, from 94, 95.
I was in the building. I was in the game. I was at the game with the big Schoenfeld mess.
Oh,
when the referees boycotted, and Vinny Godleski, who was the district's referee in chief, I knew Vinny for years, Paul McGinnis refed, and John Sullivan, who was off-ice officiating for off-ice crew for the Islanders. Those were the three guys. And if you remember, only Paul had black pants and the sweater, had the referee sweater. Vinny and John had to wear green Devils sweatpants and yellow practice jerseys. And they can't. And I'll tell you what, I called Paul the next day. I thought he did an unbelievable job. He did a great job. So much pressure.
Yeah.
And then I think Lou actually ended up taking league to court to get the suspension lifted on Schoenfeld, which is why the referees boycotted.
Wow.
Right. And it was, the game was delayed, and it was an interesting time. That was a fun year in '88 to get to be, because they had a pretty good run. They had the Caps. Did they have the Islanders?
Yeah, honestly, my memory doesn't.
Mine too. It's I always remember prior to '95, like if you were at a Ranger game and they were playing the Islanders, the Islander fans used to chant 1940, right?
Yeah.
When they come to the Devil games, they used to chant 19 never. The Islander fans were great. They were, and I started out as I was an Islander fan. I didn't become a Devil fan until 1988. Yeah, I was a little bit of a bandwagon guy, but it was exciting. I also think that Fox Sports, when Fox had the contract, I think that they did I know people didn't like the Comet Trail puck, and they didn't like the glow. Purists didn't like it. No. But average sports people loved it because they could follow the game.
Yeah.
And you and I could watch a grainy TV and we'd know what's going on and who's in possession because we know
Right.
the game.
Yeah.
Fans that didn't know the game, sports fans that didn't know the game, that made a difference. So I always, in the Fox Robots, I remember that too. That was
Oh yeah.
such a different era for watching hockey. And the
Yeah.
games were longer then too. I mean, it seemed to be much longer. Now they've got it down pretty good. So
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a nice product.
Unreal.
They really do.
they do.
Yeah.
The NHL's done an unbelievable job.
Yeah.
No doubt.
No question about it.
All right. Well,
Listen, thank you,
let's.
Glenn. This was
Yeah,
a
thank you
big
so
treat
much.
for
This was
us.
such a pleasure talking to you, getting to
My
know
honor,
you.
honestly,
Oh,
truly my honor. Thank you so
Oh.
much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Don't
Oh,
be silly.
any-
We will have to do it again.
Oh, I'd
anytime.
love to.
All right,
Awesome.
Glenn. Listen, have a great night, and once again, such a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks.
Thanks,
right.
Glenn.
Take care.
And we're back.
Welcome back.
Awesome interview with Glenn Hefferan, USHL Commissioner.
Yeah.
Awesome interview.
So, dude,
Like really, really insightful. Like
Yeah.
I did not know much about junior hockey until like recently.
yeah, and to be honest with you, one of the things that I wanted to
No
do is
clue.
as soon as we like got on, I'm like, oh, dude, I want to go check out a game because it was funny actually.
Dude,
when-
that's a very good point, by the way.
but like the closest one's in Pennsylvania to us.
Is it? I think it's Ohio.
No, I think the Phantoms.
I don't think so. I thought it was Youngstown.
Oh, is it Young? Is it?
I thought we asked him during the interview. I could have swore the closest ChatGPT or Google it. I want to say the closest was Youngstown. And I'm assuming that's Ohio. No. Check that.
No,
Just
I
make sure
sound
I'm
like
not
an
make sure I'm
idiot.
not lying. You know, I mean, I could be lying, but I could have swore the closest was Youngstown. Maybe I'm wrong, but there's not a whole lot of teams. I think 16, right?
Cedar Rapids, Chicago.
Youngstown, Ohio. Does that sound right?
Madison,
or am I making that up?
Muskegon.
It's possible. I could be making it up.
Youngstown Phantoms,
Oh, is it? So where's Youngstown?
Sioux City.
Can you find out? Can you giggle it for me?
Jamie, pull that up.
I want to say maybe it is. Maybe it is. Maybe you're right. Hold on. Youngstown, Ohio.
Ohio. Yeah, so it's Ohio.
Yeah.
My bad.
All right. I mean,
Thought it
listen,
was
it's not.
Pennsylvania.
It's right next to Pennsylvania. Close-ish.
No, actually, I think it's like right on the border.
That's what I'm saying.
Literally on
It's-
the border of like Ohio and Pennsylvania.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's just past Pittsburgh, a little past Pittsburgh, I think.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
but,
that's
but
right.
yeah, not around the corner for us.
No.
You know, but for you Pennsylvania and Ohio listeners,
Check it out.
Go check it
But
out.
it was so funny. He was like, what did he say about, parents talking about how,
Oh, my God.
like they want their kids to be in the USHL and there's something along those lines. And he's like, well, have you ever even seen a game?
Have you watched a
Have
game?
you ever been to a game? I'm like, no.
might want to
So,
check that
so
out.
how do you know that that's the path for your kid?
Yeah, he's like I don't want to like push our TV service, but he's like go check a game out.
Yeah, totally.
You know, listen, I mean it's like no joke hockey.
Yeah, it is.
Like there's a lot of guys in the NHL that
no,
played
it's
in the
not.
USHL.
No joke.
No joke.
No.
It's the real deal.
Yeah, a lot of players have elite athletes. Celebrini played for the Steel, for example.
A lot of major guys have gone through the USHL.
Yeah,
Great development, you know, if you're a US or Canadian born kid, right?
no doubt.
You know, I mean it's that and the CHL are well,
The CHL's got so many more teams. And it
Yeah.
was just interesting to hear about how
Yeah.
it's been subsidized by the NHL for years. And
years.
even when he was talking about
For
how like
years.
a lot of like NHL teams have like got former CHL players and they're, I don't want to say they're loyal to the CHL, but like the
I mean,
CHL
listen.
gets potentially more looks than kids from the USHL just because their products have been like found their ways into jobs at the NHL level.
yeah. Junior hockey is still I don't want to say still like a mystery to me. It's confusing.
Like what part?
The amount of leagues and tier 1, tier 2, right?
Yeah, I don't know anything about the tier 2 situation.
Like that's like the null and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
That's like tier 2. You know, it's confusing.
Yeah.
You know, it's if you don't know what the hell, if you're not like in it, you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, and even like up in Canada, it's interesting because they've got like
There's so
three
many.
leagues that make up the CHL.
Right. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Like it's confusing.
Yeah,
You know, like if you don't know what's going on, it can be very daunting. And that's why we're hopefully trying to spread some awareness about this stuff early on so people know what's going on.
yeah, no doubt.
You know, hopefully we can have the commissioner of the Knoll on too.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're working on it.
Jamie, figure that out.
Oh, I'm working on it.
Good.
Yeah. It's not easy, but I'm working on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so fingers crossed. But yeah, no, Glenn was great. He, I actually liked how he was talking about how the U.S. is one of the only countries that don't put money into their youth programs.
Oh yeah, that was an interesting point.
Yeah, that's. I'm curious if that ever because overseas we've talked a bunch about how they already do that.
Yes.
So I'm curious if that is ever going to change.
Yeah. Well, listen, the sport's growing. There's going to be more and more money involved.
That's for sure.
However that looks, don't know exactly, but in any event,
Yes.
it's certainly things have changed where it's like, it's there's better players that are playing in the college level. It
Yes.
kind of seems like after juniors, then it's like juniors, then college, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And during that process, any youth player that's playing at a high level, like then you go play juniors, like the next highest level that you could, go to. And then from there, do your time there, then go on to college, at which point you're a little older, and then you're going to get, the college experience where there's a lot less games.
It's true.
There's more physical development, off ice training.
They structure it a lot like college, the USHL. I thought that
Yeah,
was
but
pretty interesting.
that's not the case for the CHL.
No, it's not.
No.
Totally different. Yeah.
Right.
Totally different. Yeah.
Definitely different models.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I kind of like how the USHL does it. It's really a developmental league for that reason, no?
Yeah, but then you hear people say, well, like if your next step is like after juniors is going to play in the NHL, right? For some, that's what happens. They don't play college.
Yeah, some.
Then like the knock on U.S. college is that you only play like 30 something games, which is nothing close to the workload you're going to play at the NHL level, which is more similar in the CHL where you're getting way more games.
Yeah, I don't know. So listen, we've had this conversation a lot about like for a youth kid, is the better path for a youth kid the youth program that has 70 games, or is it the youth program that has 40 games and a lot more puck touches in practice and stuff like that because you're not traveling so much. So is that so? We're talking like the CHL and the USHL right now, and they're structured very similarly, right? So you have the USHL, who is more development, only a couple games on the weekends, very similar to college,
right?
Friday, Saturday night, right? And then you have the CHL, which is a more rigorous game schedule,
travel schedule,
right? More like professional-ish,
yes,
right? So it depends. I mean, the USHL, in my opinion, is a more of a developmental league. They want kids to come there to get better and move on to, I think, for the most part, colleges, right? Universities, right. I'm not sure the CHL has that type of. I wonder if they want you to jump right into pro. I don't know. I'm not sure what the answer is.
Well, there's definitely more CHL players that are coming down and playing in the NCAA, and
That's true.
Then you're having teams that have like much deeper benches. Like you got more depth players. Like it's the cream is rising.
The product that is college hockey is exploding. Yeah. And it's only going to get better as these Canadian kids come down. Like you said,
the talent pool gets better.
College hockey, in my opinion, is going to be so good. It's already good, but it's going to be so much better moving forward. Yeah. Because of what's coming.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic in a product respect. But it's not fantastic because you have a bunch of Canadian kids taking spots from US born kids.
Yeah, but then it's also like if you think about it, like the less Canadians that are, I don't know if that ultimately makes more room for US born players to go up there 100%. And play.
Yep.
So you're gonna, or maybe is that just giving more Canadians an opportunity? I don't
know. I guess we're gonna have time will tell.
Time will tell, but it's an interesting time. But certainly at the collegiate level, you're seeing the game get better. You're seeing much more parity. You're going to see less teams that are going to less discrepancies between teams. Who was that? There was that one team I don't even know. I don't remember. That was like making a big push at the end of this year. That was kind of like I was like, who is that?
We're talking college.
College.
Who's making a big in the tournament or
no? They didn't make it to the tournament, but they were on the cusp of making the tournament. And I don't know.
I don't know either. Do you know what league they're in?
Nah.
No. God, you look that up. So speaking, great movie.
Is that you? Raymond, is that you? Take off that mask and put down that gun. Shit.
It's a great movie, by the way. I mean, it's funny. I actually came across that the other day. Like White Men Can't Jump, maybe one of the best movies from when we were kids. Like one of the best movies.
Well, what was it? You can listen to Jimmy.
But you can't hear.
You can't hear.
He's like, you can't hear him. He's like, what? What?
Rosie Perez, huh?
Rosie Perez. The dude from who was the guy from? It wasn't Fresh Prince. It was that other show. He was Wesley Snipes' buddy in the movie.
Duck?
Who?
Who was the other? The
You're saying the King and the Duck?
The King and the Duck.
No, not them. It was Wesley Snipes' buddy, and when Woody Harrelson's on the beach, like taking Wesley Snipes to school, like basically like conning him, about how he can shoot. He's like, we go in Sizzler, we go in Sizzler. What was his name?
I don't know.
Malcolm Jamal Warner? No. Yeah?
Dude, wasn't he from Cosby Show?
Hold on.
Didn't he die?
He did?
Am I making that up?
Are you? That's the what? Was it Malcolm Jamal Warner? Dude, I don't think so. We go and was it? We go and Sizzler. No, he wasn't in was he? Anyway, but whoever it was.
Yeah, dude, he was caught in a strong riptide while swimming in a.
No shit.
Yeah.
He's gone?
Yeah, he died July 20th, 2025 at age 54.
Last year?
Yeah, in Costa Rica.
Holy shit, dude. Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, sad. He was born in Jersey City. How about that?
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
1970.
Okay, so he's like a bunch of years older than us.
Yeah, he was 54 when he died. Sad.
That's a shame. I didn't realize that. Gotcha.
Accidental drowning.
Okay. Got it. I did not realize that. It wasn't Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Oh, Jesus. He was with his 8-year-old daughter when he died.
Oh, that's awful.
Fucking awful.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
You know? Meanwhile, it was not Malcolm Jamal Warner. It was come on. Who's the We Going Sizzler dude? People are screaming at their radio right now, or wherever you, or your iPhone, or however you listen to us. They're screaming right now. What is his name? Kadeem Hardison.
I would have never guessed that.
Yes, you would have. Anyway, We Going Sizzler. Anyway, that's who it was. How did we get on White Men Can't Jump, by the way?
Because I said, Raymond.
Is that you?
Is that you?
What's up, Otto?
Oh, you guys recording?
We are. You want to come say hi? You might as well. Sure. Come say hi.
Quick.
Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only.
Say what's up.
Are you
What
frozen?
up,
Ken?
guys?
Are we both frozen?
No.
Okay.
No. I was frozen before.
That was frozen before. Gotcha.
Yeah. We can
The one
close
and
this.
only. So how did your tryouts go, speaking of?
They were good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Crushed it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. Sweet.
You smell lovely.
Yeah, because you shampoo.
This is beautiful.
Oh, is that what?
Velvet.
I should start using shampoo.
It's a good thing, Otto.
Yo, you getting back on the ice this week?
Yeah, I have top line on Thursday.
Sweet.
Nice.
At American Dream.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet setup there.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
I like
it is.
it.
Yeah.
What else you getting up to this spring?
Definitely
What
is.
other sports you doing?
Mountain biking, and that's it, right?
What?
No.
The other thing that you're doing every day after school, did you forget that
Oh
one?
yeah, and track.
Nice. I like it.
Nice, dude.
Are you doing like the hurdles? Are you sprinting? Like what are you doing?
I want to run the 55 and 200.
Okay.
55, is that just like a middle school distance? I don't think I've ever heard of a 55.
It's the shortest that we can run. And
It's a sprint, right?
Yeah.
Right. Because the 200's 2 times around the track. Is that right?
Yeah.
Because 400 is four laps, which is like a mile.
Yeah.
Right. Nice, buddy. So you're doing a half mile.
Yeah.
Good for you.
It'd be nice.
How you doing?
Jamie used to run track.
You?
Jamie ran track for a short period of time. Yeah, I was decent for a short period of time.
What'd you run?
So I ran cross country my freshman year in high school just to get ready for basketball.
You played basketball?
Yeah.
That must have been like.
I was good. I was a good basketball player. So I ran cross country just to get in shape for basketball season.
Okay.
With a buddy of mine, and I actually found out I was pretty good. And I started like medaling in like county races. And then I ran like a like an 1856 as a freshman, which is like a legit time. Like for
what distance?
For 3.2, it's a 5K, it's 3.2 miles.
You didn't.
I ran it 1856 or
What is that
1846.
in, like meters or?
It's a 5K.
Oh,
Right?
oh,
It's
5K.
Yeah, it's a 5K.
Three-
That's
18
fast.
Minutes?
I ran it 1854, 1856.
18 minutes.
Yeah, and 54 seconds. Yeah, so just shy of 19 minutes for 3.2 miles. So after that, the phone started ringing. Like, who's this freshman? So I had some pretty interesting.
Is this a lie or like?
No, it's
Okay.
Is this
What do you mean is it a lie? We're recording here. How would I lie on this thing? No, I started getting some phone calls from some pretty big like track schools asking like, who is this freshman? Right. Yeah. So, and then like I ran that and I think it was at Pascagoula Valley. I crushed it at Pascagoula Valley. Was finishing like past like a bunch of seniors as a freshman. And then I was riding my bike to get a haircut one day to go to like a basketball workout.
Career ender.
Hit by a car, shattered my left tibia and fibia, and that's all she wrote.
Ooh.
Yep.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I remember my dad
Scott
was like,
remembers that.
Jamie got hit by a car.
Your dad, my mother called your dad,
Yeah.
and your dad met the ambulance at the hospital.
Yeah.
And I remember your dad came up to me while I'm sitting like on like a gurney, right? And my tibia and fibia were shattered, like totally shattered. Like if you guys are watching on TV, my tibia and fibia were like this, like
Jesus.
totally shattered.
Yeah.
It came
was
through
it
the
like
skin a
at
little bit.
Crosswalk and was it whose fault was it?
So it was like a blind corner that they were coming around and they were going straight. I was turning.
How fast were they going?
I don't know, 25-ish, 30 miles an hour. It was like a back road that like you'd never be on. You know what I mean? And there was like a vegetation. It was kind of overgrown. So it was just wrong place, wrong time for both of us. But yeah, so your dad, who was a doctor at that hospital, met us there. And I remember the orthopedist came over and he asked me like why I wasn't screaming. And he showed me a picture of my fracture. He's like, yeah, you should be like screaming in pain.
And
I think I was just in shock.
yeah.
Do you know when I didn't cry, didn't shed a tear. They said it. I didn't shed a tear. Do you know when I started crying?
When?
When I got home later from the hospital that night.
Yeah.
When I had a cast from my
You got
toe.
home
Yeah.
that night.
Yeah.
They didn't stay home.
No. Nope. They said it. And they put a cast on. I had a cast from my toes to my hip
I remember that.
on my left leg. And I started crying when I tried to get up the stairs to get up to my room.
Wait, how old were you?
I was a freshman in high school.
Oh, right.
So, so that's when I started because I got frustrated, and all of a sudden, like the painkiller started wearing off,
Yeah.
and the cast was like weighing down my legs. The fracture was like pulling,
Yeah.
right? It was stretching, and I couldn't get up the stairs. I got upstairs eventually, but I was like scooching up on my rear end, like backwards.
Yeah.
So that's like that's when I started like getting frustrated. I think I was crying out of just straight frustration, but I didn't cry in the hospital. Yeah, pretty nasty fracture too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You remember that?
Listen to my, I remember.
Yeah, thanks for coming to see me in the hospital. Appreciate it.
I honestly, I was afraid, if my dad,
Your dad did not come and see me in the hospital.
Nah.
I didn't.
Your grandfather came to see me in the hospital, but your dad did not come.
Well, so listen, I was afraid, honestly.
You were afraid to see me in the hospital?
No, yeah, kind of. When my dad was like, no, I'm being serious. He said, Jamie got hit by a car.
I did.
I'm going to the hospital. And the idea of, I don't know, whatever I made up in my mind, like it happened to you, I was like afraid.
Right.
Did he even tell you what happened? Like, for all you know, Jamie could have broken a toe and just he had really bad pain.
Listen, I
Scott
visited
on the
Jamie in the hospital when they're in second grade
What did you do in second
in New York City.
Yeah.
What did you do in second grade?
Yeah.
He was sick and he had caught some very
came down with this
strange illness.
Crazy thing that like, of course I can't win the fucking lottery.
Kawasaki.
Sorry, Otto. Yeah. They still don't know how people get it to this day. But
No shit.
I got like this thing called Kawasaki syndrome when I was in second grade. Yeah. Like the motorcycle.
Kawasaki.
Yeah,
syndrome.
no joke. Look it up. Yeah, it affects like swelling around the brain and heart. And I was at baby's.
Swelling around the heart.
I was at Columbia Presbyterian
brain.
in Manhattan. Yep. And they
What's
said
Presbyterian?
what?
What's a Presbyterian?
What is it?
The name of the hospital.
Yeah, Columbia Presbyterian is the name of the hospital. Yeah. Yeah. So they told my mother I wouldn't make the night.
They told her that?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
No,
came
no
out.
one. I mean, in second grade, they didn't tell me that.
Doctor came out and he's like, make plans. He's like, your child.
No
won't-
shit.
won't
I didn't know
won't
that.
Last the night. Yeah.
I remember
So
when.
fuck you, Doc.
Fuck. I remember. I mean, I remember
Sorry, Otto.
vividly.
Is that what she said?
No, that's what I just said.
Oh.
I'm sure she said. I think she.
Did you actually believe you were gonna die that night?
I was 8, so
Your parents didn't tell you that, did they?
No,
No.
no. I had like 105 and change fever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, my mother said they like strapped me down the bed. Like most people, unfortunately, a lot of kids die. I was old to get it. Apparently, you get it like
As an infant or something?
No, but under the age of 8.
Yeah.
So I got it at the age of 8, which apparently was old for that.
Okay.
And they still have no idea how you get it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember going to the hospital. It was a rainy day.
Yeah.
When I went to visit you.
Yeah, I was
And
in
I-
intensive care.
Stormy
I was in intensive care for like a week.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was wild, dude. It was wild. It was wild. It was a wild time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember when I think it was when like I first started having like these little like pains in like my chest right here. I have like I don't know if it's like a little bit of asthma.
Yeah.
But when we first went, like we went to like the urgent care,
Mm-hmm.
and they said I had like what they say?
Get close.
They said I had like something around. What they say? They had like a low beating heart or something like that.
Okay.
And then we went to the hospital. and They were like everything's fine. Like we saw.
Right.
But I remember that was
It
like
was a scare for a minute.
Sure. Yeah, that stuff's freaky. So hug your children, folks.
That's right.
You know, you never know.
No doubt.
Right?
You never know.
Tomorrow's never
Tell 'em
promised.
you love
so make
'em.
sure make sure you hug your children. You know, maybe don't get so bent out of shape when your kid's not skating hard on the ice, right? Because in the grand scheme of things,
Not that important.
probably not important, right?
Love you, buddy.
Yeah.
Love you, James.
Appreciate it, buddy. Love you too. But yeah,
Yeah.
so we want to promote what we have going on tomorrow night?
Yeah, and then we can wrap it up.
We can.
So tomorrow we're going live on Instagram with Instagram live tomorrow night, 8:00 with Jim Dowd. We're going to talk some youth hockey, college hockey. Please join us. It'll be like obviously on Instagram, and you'll see that we're live. Join us, ask questions. But we're going to have
Be
a
awesome.
talk with New Jersey legend, former NHL Stanley Cup winner Jim Dowd, and it's going to be a great conversation and an opportunity for our listeners to write in and say what's up and ask some questions.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Hey, are you guys gonna have like a chat on the screen so you guys can like?
Yeah, of course we are.
Yeah.
So is it gonna be like people will like you'll
Yeah,
look
they
at
can
it
write
and
questions.
answer
in.
questions?
Yeah,
Alright.
you can ask a question.
I probably will.
You should.
Yeah, you should
Jump
you
on
should
and ask
join.
a question to Jimmy Dowd, the legend himself.
Yeah, and get Dom to do it too.
I will.
Yeah.
I'm sure Nancy will be on too.
Yeah, tell all your friends.
Set your calendar, folks.
All your hockey friends.
Set your calendar.
Tomorrow night, 8
p.m.
o'clock. Oh, wait.
live on
Wait, is he
Instagram.
here?
Oh no, not tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
It is tomorrow. So when you're listening to it, it's today. Tonight.
Tonight. This comes out Wednesday.
Wednesday,
Day,
so
and this is Jim Dowd
Wednesday
Wednesday night.
night.
So if you're listening to this Wednesday morning
Yes,
or
it's
afternoon,
tonight.
it's tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So wait, this is getting posted tomorrow.
Yeah.
This is
Or
getting
put it
posted
up.
tomorrow
Okay.
morning. Yes.
Oh, you put it up at 6 o'clock every day, right?
It'll be up at 6
whatever.
o'clock Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
Be there, be
Okay,
square.
and it'll be Wednesday night.
Yep, Wednesday night with Jimmy Dowd. Yeah.
All right, dude. What do you
right,
say we
buddy.
wrap this one up?
All right, it was fun.
All right, absolutely. Good
All right,
talking to
everybody.
you.
Yes, likewise. Thank you, everybody, for downloading, sharing, doing everything that you're doing. We really appreciate it. Thank you to the new listeners. Yeah, love you guys.
Yeah, love you
Appreciate
too,
it.
buddy.
Yeah.
All right.
See ya.
Later.
Bye.